said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
Do you know, because you've been a caffeine head, do you know what I mean? Like, how did you transition to come off caffeine? Like,
for 2 weeks.
I've heard it's hell coming off
For 2
caffeine.
weeks, I was having nightmares, sweating in my sleep, like proper sweating in my sleep, and having headaches every day and that.
Never.
Yeah, it was horrible. But I'm just glad I don't have that much caffeine every day now.
No. Yeah, well, there's no caffeine in that water, is there?
No, that's all I drink now is just water.
I'd love to get there, to be fair.
Don't get me wrong, I drink alcohol on the weekend or the odd weekend, but
Is there caffeine in alcohol?
I don't know. There's caffeine in pretty much everything, isn't there?
Is there?
I don't mind a can of Coke now and again, like a full fat Coke, just to, but I wouldn't drink it every day or.
I'm serious on it, me. Like, I mean, you just said there, 2 coffees a day, 4 Red Bulls. I'm thinking, I do that before I leave the house. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm way up there,
but
mate.
you won't realise like how much
No, I don't know any different.
your body's relying on it.
It's gone on for 15 years. Do you know what I mean? I've been doing this since my early 20s. Like, mate, like, if I told you how many Red Bulls I'm having a day, like, put it this way, I'm buying a 12 box a day and it goes. Put it that way.
Does it?
Yeah, and I'm probably smashing about 8 coffees a day and all. Do you know what I mean?
I was doing that many. I drank the sugar-free tropical, the yellow one.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
The Red Bull one.
So like, we've always like been on Instagram in terms of like our like personal selves have always featured on the Instagram.
Yeah.
So we started getting people just sending us crates of Red Bull, and that, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, that didn't help.
We went through a phase where we were getting like, I don't want to sound weird this way, but like fan mail. Well, not fan mail, just people would send us like cookies, but personalised ones with the Luxury Bed Company on it. And
Never.
used to just get crates of Red Bull sent to us. Are we on here, by the way?
Oh, we're just rolling.
Are we just rolling, yeah?
You just roll like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's meant how you do that.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it, isn't it? Just
Rather
use
than
people
that
in. Yeah.
awkward
If you put
introduction.
in there, people go, oh.
Oh, I'm on.
Yeah, that's what
So-
it is. We do write an intro, like, I do have an intro, but
All right,
we're going to have
go
a big
on.
crack first.
But yeah, we were going through a phase where we were getting just stuff sent to us. It was like, I got someone sent me a frame of. I mean, it is a nice thing to do. Of me and my daughter, like a photo of me and my daughter. They must have got it from the Instagram or something with like a nice little quote underneath it. But just people sending off it stuff.
Because I've been doing, obviously, a bit of research, but I couldn't find no personal social media for you.
No,
You don't do personal social?
Doesn't really interest me.
No. All business.
Yeah, all business. And just, I went through a phase when I had my sort of personal social media, I'd get like the odd message and that, like saying, like, customers like, inquiring about stuff. So it's just, and I'm not really that fussed about it anyway.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I've got a busy platform
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah.
Are you on the socials, Callum?
Yeah. I don't
To
really
a
use
certain
them.
degree.
No.
I'm a terrible man for replying anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I am awful for replying.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because you do that much stuff, like replying through work. Last thing I want to do is come home and sit down and then start going through the Instagram and replying back to everybody and all that. I just don't. Just don't do it. I mean, it is there, but I very rarely use it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I find myself, all you're really doing is just stalking, aren't you? You know, what is social media for? I mean, if it's not business, personal, what's it for?
Yeah, like when I'm not on there uploading content or creating content stuff, if I'm on there, I'm just scrolling.
I think it in my opinion, like, it's really contrasting. Like, it's undisputable, right, that social media, as far as business goes, is an absolute gem. It's amazing for business.
revolutionary,
Yeah, revolutionary if it's done right. But I honestly can't tell you a time when personal social media brings me anything positive. It's only like a negative feeling. You know, when you come off, because whether you like it or not, you do compare. I do. And I'll hold my hand up and admit.
Naturally, we all compare our lives to other people.
Yeah, you see
And
someone
like,
living
not
this
in a
life.
jealous way or a bad way.
No.
Like, social media is like, you get a lot of people who are always on holiday and stuff, or doing nice things. But
right.
man, that's good. I love seeing people do that. But when you're like working so hard all the time and you're constantly busy, you haven't got time to do that all the time.
No.
But there's some people who can, because they work remotely, influencers, they can just travel around the world. And it's easy for people to compare their lives to other people's. But also, not everyone's lives are what it looks like on social media.
There's also the factor of how much of it is real? And are they just posting
Yeah.
like the best bits?
You've
know?
got to remember, people aren't waking up on a Sunday morning upside down and then taking a selfie and posting it and going like, and then screaming about any of the downfalls, or
No.
you don't see them going out the bedroom window when it's pissing down with rain, taking a photo and go, oh, what lovely landscape. It's
Yeah.
always like, I woke up at 5 a.m. in Bali. Well, it's actually 9 o'clock. It's nowhere near 5.
But like
So,
even like
it's not all true.
The other part of it in terms of nobody posts about the bad things that are going on in their life, or like say for example for business, anything that's like a negative for us in business, we aren't posting on social media. We're only posting like the fun content. We're posting the customer images. Do you know what I mean? Anything that's going on in the background or behind the scenes that's a negative or something that's not going right, we're not telling the world.
No.
And same for people who are on Instagram personally. Do you know what I mean? So I think we only post the good things, don't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I suppose it's a rule of thumb in it of socials.
Yeah.
I guess. So, are we rolling Southpaw?
We are rolling indeed.
What episode is this, sir?
I believe this is episode 45. I could be incorrect there. I could be incorrect.
How many people you've had on already?
Episode 45. I don't think we've had 45 guests, but we've had 45 shows. We've got some regulars. Do you know what I mean?
All right,
Some
yeah. So
regulars.
come and go and stuff like that.
Well, it's episode 45. This is People Like Us. We're joined today by Phil Stevenson and Callum Bickle from the Luxury Bed Company. So, start from the beginning, really. Do you know what? It's pretty public knowledge, the Luxury Bed Company, and it is a success.
Yes.
But before we get into that, which there is a bit of, let's get into who yous are and where yous are from, basically. How did this all begin?
God. Well, I'm Phil Stevenson. I'm from Darlington. I'll let you introduce.
Colin Bickle, Darlington as well.
So I've been brought up in the furniture trade.
Right.
As a kid, always in factories. My dad had a factory when I was a kid making sofas. My brother sold sofas online. My dad and brother were selling sofas online. So growing up, I worked in factories, packing cushions, using the staple guns and that. So I knew a bit about upholstery. I knew everything about furniture growing up. I hated it.
Right.
Because you're in and around it. Imagine like growing up in a pub.
Yeah.
Your mum and dad's like a landlord or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I got to 17, I started delivering around the country for me dad and brother because they were selling sofas online. So where like online was obviously getting big. So I had a few years doing that, selling sofas online, and then funny enough, when I was 18, was the first time I met Callum. I met him in a house party.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard this story before.
No.
I actually met Callum. Callum was a bogger, and I was the complete
bogger,
opposite.
yeah.
I'm more Eastbourne lad, so probably more of a chava.
For our international viewers, a bogger is somebody who is
A skateboarder.
a skateboarder.
Yeah, he had long hair and that.
Long
But he went
hair.
to college with John Flynn. John Flynn was like, well, he's one of my best mates. So I met Callum in a house party, 18, and I felt sorry for him a little bit because he was dead quiet, dead timid, just sat there, not really like dead loud like everyone else.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, watch this, I'll bring him out of his shell a little bit. So I goes upstairs, I got a bit of toothpaste, put it in my hand, and I sat next to him and I was like, how are we doing, mate? All right. And everyone was like, oh my God, you're such a bully, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like, I'm not. Like, I'm trying to like bring him into our ways. Like everyone's jumping around, everyone's rowdy, everyone's having like a proper laugh and that.
But I remember looking
then-
when he did it. I remember looking, thinking, "Oh, mate, it's a bit weird. What in the world did he touch my head for?"
You were clueless.
He was clueless.
What's he done that for?
And then, I can't remember, we were 18, so it was a long time ago. But 10, 15 minutes, maybe it's even an hour passes by. I'm sat there talking to someone, yeah. And then Callum comes down and he goes, how we doing, mate? Bang. Toothpaste all down.
No way.
And then,
But you done it back
Because
to him?
I'd done that. I had long hair at the time, and I'd gone to run my hand through my hair, and I went, "Well, I don't believe."
And
what
you
he's done.
clocked it was him that did it. Yeah.
It probably was about an hour later. I've been sat there with toothpaste in my hair for about an hour, none the wiser.
and then when he did it to me, everyone was like, oh my God, why have you done that? Oh, he's going to do this or he's going to do that to you. I was like, no, I'm not. I said, that's how it is. Like, it's a bit of fun. And then I was actually meant to be going down to, was it like Cardiff or somewhere? I meant Manchester maybe.
It was down
The
the road. It
next
wasn't
day.
local. It was down the road.
Yeah, down the country. But when you were that age, 18, you could go out and drink and then get up at 6 o'clock and jump in a van and drive all the way down the end of the country.
Mad, really, innit?
But I needed someone to come with me because I didn't have a driver's mate.
Right.
Obviously, I was the driver, but I didn't have a driver's mate at this point. I used to just wing it the day before, whatever. And I was like, "Do you want to do some work tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Delivering sofas down in, I can't remember, like Cardiff or somewhere." I'm sure it was Wales, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
So then I picked Callum up 6 o'clock next morning. We goes down to Wales together. It was quite awkward though.
So you hang on, this happened in this house party, this toothpaste back and forth.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
In the same night, you've offered him this.
I offered him to come down the road with me the next day.
Never.
So,
That's mad.
So I picked him up the next day and it was quite awkward.
What were you thinking? Like, who's this guy?
Well, so what?
Did you know him before?
To
now?
put a bit, no, I didn't
Never
know
met
his
each other,
name, didn't
ever.
know anything
I didn't
about
know
each
who he
other.
was.
Never.
So obviously after the toothpaste thing, we'd had a bit of crack all night. We'd had like a good drink with each other.
Yeah.
So he said like, "Oh, do you want to come down the road?" Yeah, go on then. He said, "Right, I'll pick you up at 5:30. So I've got up,
Ah, yeah, I remember
dying,
this.
got all into me work clothes and all that. Stood in the front room, staring outside. It's now 6 o'clock, and I thought, he's got me. An
thought-
absolute beauty. No,
Doubled
come
up on the
work and all
prank.
that. I thought, I don't know.
Toothpaste and then
Made him
stitching
get
him
up.
up, making him like that would have been on board, wouldn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I was boiling, but in the same respect, I was like, he's done me good and proper.
Pretty good, that
But-
one, isn't it? You can't be angry at that,
And
really.
then
Then about 6:15, I
come
seen
flying down the street.
I'd gone back to bed at this point. So I thought, fuck this, I'm not waiting about no longer.
Yeah.
And then the Luton van's obviously pulled into the street. He rang me, he went, "Are you ready, Joe?" I went, yeah. Give me 2 minutes. I jumped
He
on.
didn't talk like this, by the way.
Got changed again.
This Callum's completely different.
Is he?
Yeah,
What?
this was like this quiet, timid lad.
Right.
Bobbed hair. What was that top clothing used to wear?
Vans.
I don't know. Maybe like
all
Vans or
stuff
something.
like that. Yeah.
And he gets in the van.
Nirvana t-shirt on and that.
Yeah. It was a little bit awkward, but it wasn't because I'm not really an awkward person.
No.
And we were just like laughing about the night before and that. And then I just remember driving down the road, like we'd been driving now a few hours, and he's just like sat upright, like this in the van.
Stiff as a board.
And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, what's he doing? With his seatbelt strapped to him. And I was like, do you not want to like slouch and then put your legs up on the dashboard like you're a passenger? Like when I was younger, when I was in the passenger seat, I'm sleeping all the way to London. Oh, yeah. And he was like, "Oh no, I'm fine." Anyways, it took a few years to get him
Slouch in
from
the seat.
Bogger to Boyo.
Back to Boyo.
That's what my dad says.
Yeah,
Bogger
he
to
does.
Boyo.
That's mad that you've met like that.
Yeah.
Completely different people, different backgrounds.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it
Chalk
even
and
more-
cheese, like completely different. And then we become best mates, really.
That's really unusual. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
really unusual. Like you say,
Well, it would have either gone one way or the other in the van, wouldn't it? It would have either gone, nah, to kind of him.
you must
too
have
different.
You must have bonded.
Oh,
Yeah,
it'd
I
be
think
like,
it's because
actually-
we were different.
Right.
So I don't know. Apparently it works, doesn't it? When people are different, yin and yang
That's
and
what
all
they
that.
say, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then Callum kind of like started coming and doing the odd days with me because I think he had a job at the time. You were at QE, weren't you?
I was in college. I
was in college. Then you'd done a bit of factory work for my dad and brother
Well, I then ended up doing,
when I was still on the vans. So Callum was now in like the furniture industry sort of thing, like the manufacturing side of it. Coming on the vans with me, working in the factory for my brother. And then, cut long story short, we ended up living together when we were like, what, 21?
It will have been 21, yeah.
And that's when I'd kind of, so in between that period, I'd then started making beds in my dad's factory
Right.
for my dad's shop.
Right.
Started making them Altman beds, you know, the ones that lift up.
Yeah.
I started making them. Callum was at EE.
I was at E and I was selling in your dad's shop as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he used to work at my dad's shop on a weekend or his days off.
Right.
And then I'd started thinking, you know what, I want to start like making these for myself.
Yeah.
And like just like get a little bit of extra money for the weekend and that. I pay my dad whatever it would cost for materials and stuff, and I'll see how they go on like Gumtree and Marketplace and stuff like that. Started doing all right. Yeah, not like successfully all right, but it was doing all right for a 21-year-old who lived with his mum and dad. Do you know what I mean? And then I started doing that on Gumtree, started doing a bit on Facebook, and then I found my own supplier and started designing like beds. Obviously, back then there were a lot cheaper beds than what we do now. Even the designs were a lot cheaper. Found a supplier, and then I got on Instagram, right? And Instagram was just more, so I had like a portfolio of my work,
Right.
like a bit of an album, like an online album. That's all Instagram was, wasn't it? Before businesses got on it and influencers and stuff. And then started posting away on there. And then as time went on, I always remember, obviously we then got a website made and that. And I always remember a lass from Love Island messaged me. Callie Jane Beach. Callie Jane.
I mean, I'm not big on the Love Islands, to be fair.
Okay. Well, Callie Jane, she messaged me and said, would you like to do a collaboration? And this is when all my stuff was crushed velvet.
Right.
I hammered the crushed velvet. It was a trend at the time.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was in
I
at the
need
time.
to take full
What
advantage of
people
this.
wanted.
Yeah.
She messaged me, would you like to collaborate? And I was like, what does collaborate mean? So you sort me a bed and I'll do you some promotion. And I thought, oh, this sounds all right. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Done that. And then, yeah, Callie
Just,
Jane. Oh, look at that, Callie bed.
Callie bed, yeah, luxury bed.
That wasn't her bed, but that's one of our beds, yeah. So yeah, done that. And then I started making a list of reality TV stars and influencers and stuff who were quite successful on social media or even successful on TV shows at that time. So I started making a list of these people and thought, right, I'm going to start messaging all these. So I just started messaging people saying, do you want to collaborate?
So you reached out?
So I started reaching out to people,
Yeah.
and then just started doing collaborations from there. And then I always remember, I think it was 2017, it will have been 2017, done a collaboration with Chloe Ferry. And, my dear God, that just went ballistic.
Did it?
Yeah, it went ballistic.
In what way?
Like, Instagram just went divvy. On top of obviously all doing other collaborations as well, but I just remember that day when we were at her house setting the bed up and stuff. But at the time as well, it was a bed that was very, very new to the bed market. You'll be able, if I describe it to you, it has like big, thick sides, and it's like Chesterfield pattern with all the buttons.
Yeah.
And the headboard's like Chesterfield pattern with the buttons. And it had
don't
like
believe it, that
it's
was
like a
it.
platform bed. If you type in
one there,
Superior,
the
there,
sun,
that's the
it
photo.
there.
Oh,
So
wow.
she posted
it.
that photo. And at this point, I don't even think I had a website at this point.
No.
So now I had
website?
hundreds of people messaging me saying, I want that bed.
It's a nice looking bed, like.
Yeah.
You's made that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Huh.
Um,
And this made it kick right off.
I wouldn't say it made me business kick off. But
The socials.
at that time, it kind of like it kicked off. But I
Right.
stayed consistent with doing collaborations with people like her and stuff like that. And then, yeah, we just kind of, well, I just carried on doing collaborations. I thought, this is mint, this. Obviously then, I don't think at that time I had a website. I don't think I
No.
did, because I can remember writing people's
It
orders
was
down manually.
pen and paper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What year are we talking here?
That was about 2017, that, because we were living together in 2000, it might be in 2016. Yeah, it will have been, because we had a website in 2017, remember rightly? That would have
Yeah.
been 2016.
Right. And it was just the socials at that point.
Just so.
Yeah, so
Well,
you were literally taking the order
Wow.
through a messenger and
it
writing
was
it
just
down on a pad and paper.
me doing Gumtree at this time.
And just country.
And then I used Instagram as like I say, a portfolio.
Yeah, just a catalogue sort of
like
thing.
a catalogue, yeah,
Yeah.
for me to look back on.
Yeah. Just images of stuff you'd have done. Like, I get it.
But I always had this vision that I was going to be the best bed company in the UK.
Right. That's a big vision.
And I always said, I want to sell luxury beds. I want to sell beds that, like, nobody else has done before. But obviously we got to that point. Hence the reason why we sell amazing beds at the minute. But yeah, and then we just started gaining loads of followers. We were getting a lot of attraction from the general public, even small businesses who were like us at the time, and want to do like joint collaborations where I do like giveaways and all that. So, yeah, it was good for networking as well at the time.
Collaborations have been key up there.
Yes, back in the day, but last few years, no. I'll be honest with you.
No, I guess now it's the other way around. People are reaching out to you a bit, are they?
Yeah,
like,
we get
because
people
before
reaching out to
I
us.
guess it was you were benefiting.
The heavyweight world champion of the world reached out to us.
Yeah, he reached out to you.
Yes.
You didn't reach out to him.
Nope.
No, it was the other way.
I was going to ask. Do you know a mad question? Right, what's Tyson Fury's house smell like? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's house has a smell. I always think his house will smell
I do
like...
know what you mean. Everyone's house does have a smell.
Yeah.
And everyone's water tastes different as well,
Smells
doesn't
like
it?
money.
I would say it smell like babies. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. It smell like kids. He's got 1,000
I don't
kids
really
in him.
remember, but it wasn't a house where I walked away and was like, oh my God, it stinks in there. It
wasn't fire.
Very proud people, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you can see what his wife's like. I don't know if you watched the documentary,
Yeah.
she's a hard
She's
working
amazing,
woman
yeah.
in terms of looking after her family and that.
Yeah.
And the travellers, so they're very proud and probably very clean. The kids
Spotless.
grow up learning how to clean, well, especially the girls. But yeah, it was a nice house. It was very like, it was almost like very old fashioned. It had this really big, so when you go up the stairs, I don't even know if am I allowed to talk about this? I'm sure you won't.
I don't think you'll watch it.
I'm not going into full detail.
No.
I had this like unbelievable like painting, but on like the ceiling.
Oh,
of
wow.
Some, what was it? Like some
Sounds like that.
like a Hercules, some guy in a, but like a famous, like, I don't know, what do you call them? Roman, Egyptian, or whatever.
Yeah, what's the...
Sistine Chapel.
That's the
innit?
Sistine Chapel, that's the
what
one.
it
sounds
Yeah.
like.
It was like the ceilings of Sistine Chapel.
Is it Da Vinci or something? One of them? One of
Yeah,
them
where
famous
you've got
artists painting the roof?
all the clouds and like
Yeah.
the gods and
Yeah, but a
angels
really, really
and all
nice
that.
house.
Yeah, I
Really
bet.
nice house.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, in all the different clients' houses you've been in, what's the most craziest thing that you've seen? But I guess the answer probably be WBC belt. Do you know what I mean? Can anything beat that?
Oh God, it's a difficult question because I've been in so many houses, I've met so many people. Yeah, so the WBC belt, Tyson Fury's. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's. There is a name. There is a house I've been to, but I don't want to mention it because it's. I've not. Normally, I would ask people permission. So I've asked a few people if I can mention their names because I know the questions are coming.
Yeah.
But there is a certain person whose house I've been to, and they have a golf course surrounding their home.
Nice.
Very successful footballer.
As you do.
Played for Real Madrid.
Right.
Yeah, and they had this big, massive, like, grand piano. And me and Joe were there, and Joe was, like, playing the piano. Don't know if they know that because they weren't there, but the nanny or whatever was there letting us do content of the cinema room and stuff. But yeah, Joe was playing on this big grand piano thing that was at the top of the stairs.
Who's Joe?
Joe's the ginger guy who's with the tash, who's
Works
out
for
on
you.
our Instagram, yeah. But back to your question of things that we've seen. It's a hard question. I'm trying to think.
You've
There's
seen
been
some
that
bits.
many places, and now it's just normal to us. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I
mean?
guess
Yeah.
that's where it's got to now. It's just, seeing grand pianos and seeing WC belts has just become,
Yeah.
another day at the office,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
like
everything's
it's-
just normal to us now.
There'll be certain like things that, like certain appliances that we'll have seen in people's houses where anybody else would be like,
Wow.
like, I mean, a vague example is like someone who's got like a kitchen maybe the size of this room, then a huge TV popping out of the worktop. People will go like, "Oh," but then for us, because you go in that many different houses and they're of that higher spec, with like see-through fridges and stuff like that, and stuff like that where other people may think that's absolutely mental. We don't really pay much attention.
You see them in Curry's every day, though. See
Yeah.
through fridges.
I didn't know you could
But
get
I-
a see-through fridge.
No, at the
Well,
time,
you tap
when,
it and it goes see-through, so you can see what's in it, and then you tap it again, it goes like, so it doesn't
at
look
the
like
time
it's-
when we seen it, it wasn't a big thing.
No.
But we didn't treat it as a big thing.
Yeah, I suppose going in wealthy people's houses, you're going to see some, things that you don't see every day, I guess. Yeah. So, do you know, you ddid mention that you both worked for your dad. Is that,
Yeah.
well, you obviously work for your dad.
Callum done like a lot of part-time stuff where because he was at EE, so he'd come on a weekend or on his days off, he'd come and do. But you've done a few different things, haven't you? You were in the factory for a little while, and then my dad started taking you under his wing a little bit and showing you ropes with the sales side of things.
Yeah.
So Callum's got this like natural sales side to him. So he had all the
I didn't even know he had
experience at EE of working in a call centre.
Right.
And then he was working with my dad on a weekend in a showroom, and my dad's done sales since he was 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So Callum was getting the best experience in the world
Of course.
as I was building the luxury bed company. And then what better man to be your first
So you've
right-hand
done
man?
deliveries, you've done factory work,
She's
you've
got
done customer
experience
service,
within
you've now done sales and
Furniture
getting
trade.
taught by no better person.
It all just
And then like
came round
It's
and around.
almost
even
now,
know
when,
about it, but
but
it
now
all
we're talking about it,
come
like
together.
I've never actually thought of it, but when you're looking back, it was all meant to be. So I
Yeah.
was brought up in the furniture trade. I met Callum, was a complete opposite to me. We then become very good friends. Callum starts doing like bits of weekend work and deliveries and that with me. Then starts working in my brother's factory, my dad and brother's factory. Then starts doing bits of weekend work in my dad's shop, doing sales on the shop floor. All while I'm doing beds on Gumtree and stuff and making beds from scratch. And then you used to actually scarve days from EE, didn't you, to come with me when I was doing the luxury bed company.
Yeah, bits of olders, bits of cold and sick, bits of just not turning up at all.
Just to give me a hand delivering beds. And then I was like, there was one day where this is when he actually came on board with me. We're driving home from somewhere, maybe it's London, down south somewhere. And I
late
just looked
night,
at him.
wasn't it?
I just said, Callum, why don't you just leave your job? I said, and I'll just pay you, come with me. And at this point, I probably couldn't really afford it. Do you know what I mean? But I was just like, look, just come with me, leave EE. But it was in a secure job. I'm selling beds on Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace and Facebook and stuff. But then he was like, yeah, let's do it.
He
He was like, as long as you can match EE's wage. I was like, yeah, no problem, we'll just do it.
You were both taking a chance there, really. It wasn't just...
We were both taking
Yeah,
a
of
massive
course.
chance because like we were living together at the time.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't making no mega money.
No.
I was surviving.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm building something that is what we say now.
You believed, though,
I believed it.
and you must have...
I thought
believed.
if it's a good enough risk for him to take, I'll take it with him.
Yeah. I like that.
And
That's one of the
knew
things
that-
that I think we said to each other as well.
Yeah.
We said like if we succeed together. If we fail, we'll fail together. Do you know what I mean? We're still young. We can just go on and do something else.
Yeah, that's a beauty, isn't it? I mean, you were what, early 20s then? Were yous?
21, 22, yeah.
Trying to mean, I mean, God forbid, but worst case scenario, it all goes tits up. You can bounce back at that age. You know what I mean? You made a rubber,
Very
aren't
young
you?
age.
You
innit?
just go and find a job.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's-
we realised how young we were though at the time.
It is young.
Because I've always had old head on me. You know what I mean?
It is young, that. I mean, when I was 21, I was sitting in someone's bedroom smoking joints. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking about running a business. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to say I wasn't doing the same.
No.
I wasn't doing that, but I've probably done a lot of things that normal 21-year-olds do.
Yeah, yeah. But it's to a young age to have that, like you say, you must have had an old head on your shoulders because that's a young age.
I just had
to
this vision. I knew what I wanted. I do, and it was there in me.
We have always been older than our age, though.
Yeah, definitely.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Or is it
Both-
rude to ask?
No. Both just turned 30. I'm actually older than Callum, believe it or not.
Yeah. Both 30.
By a month, yeah.
Yeah, what we now? Yeah, so I was 30 in October, he was 30 in November.
You mentioned he's come up a few times, if you don't mind me asking. What's your dad like?
My dad is...
How would you describe your dad?
He's the older version of me.
Right?
He's an absolute gentleman.
Right.
He's very well respected around Darton and stuff. And yeah, he's a massive inspiration. He's my role model.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's obvious, because you've kind of followed in his footsteps.
But when I
haven't you?
worked for my dad, we used to clash.
Of course. Two big personalities.
Yes.
Standard.
That's maybe what it was.
Yeah.
Now you've said it. But yeah, we did used to clash.
Yeah.
But my dad always wanted me to go on and do the internet.
Right.
Back then, at like 19, 20,
You didn't
I didn't
knew
have a clue
what the internet was
It
about.
was like, you need to get on the internet. You need to get on the internet. And it just happened. It just happened. From, like I say, when I was making the beds, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start sticking these on Gumtree. Gumtree's like, because on Gumtree you can select where you want people to find you. So like, I just done it like in the northeast. But me dad always wanted me to be on the internet, online.
Was he big on the internet? Was he doing his business?
No, my dad still got a Nokia. This is the thing. So people get mixed up, because some people say, well, you wouldn't be where you're at if it wasn't for your dad. Well, my dad's got a Nokia phone, and he's got a retail store. There's nothing wrong with that, because he's got a very successful retail store. But what I'm saying is, my dad's kind of still like, what's the word? Very old fashioned. He's still back in his ways. Whereas, like me growing up, I had to actually move with the times.
Of course.
Because my dad got to a certain age where he didn't need to start moving with the times.
He could see and knew the capability of the internet, though.
But my brother always done very, very well on eBay.
Right.
But I never ever got on eBay.
No.
But yeah.
So I was going to ask you that question, because it's I was a bit thingy about saying it, but you've said it, so I'm going to ask. I bet because your dad ran a successful business, and then you now run a successful business, those words have been uttered before. Someone has said, you know, which is wrong.
It's always the same type of people that say it, though.
You're only where you're at
Trust
because
me.
your dad. Yeah.
It's always a certain type of people. It's always a certain type of person that says it, because I do get a lot of compliments.
Of course.
A lot of compliments by, you know, lads who have probably been in the same boat as me, lads who have worked hard, people that understand how life actually works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's normally a certain type of person that says it, and it's very few and far between. It's once in a blue moon.
Right. No.
It's a very begrudging comment, isn't it?
It is. It's. I can imagine. I don't know. I'm not in your position, but I can imagine it's. You know, it probably ruffle my feathers,
It doesn't bother me.
doesn't it?
No.
Because you know the type
As
of
long
person
as
it
they
comes from.
don't know how we're making it work, then doesn't bother me. Let them.
I know, to be honest, I'm glad you're here, Callum, and you might make you blush here, because I was going to ask, the question was going to be your business partner and how key has he been? Because I knew you were on the scene, but I didn't know you'd be here. But now you are here. How key has Callum been in this success story? Because it is a success story.
Oh, I've got some beauty stories about Callum. Good and bad. Well, not bad, like good in terms of inspirational, but also some like funny ones.
Right.
But listen, Callum's been unbelievable for me, and I'll like, and this is another comment I've had over the years, like, you wouldn't be where you're at if it wasn't Callum, or it's all Callum, isn't it? Like, I remember someone saying to me, you've done really well for yourself, but you could admit it's all Callum, isn't it? Yes, and I actually replied yes.
Did you?
Yeah, I said yeah. It is, yeah.
You
'Cause
humoured
I
him.
don't need to like prove anything to you.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But Callum's been brilliant. Like I say, he was working at EE. He was, working for me dad at the time. He was doing deliveries with me. Callum was learning everything about something that he didn't even know, and I didn't even know that at this time.
No.
That he was going to be so important. What he was doing was setting him up for what he was going to be doing for the rest of his life, which is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
But at the time, we didn't know that. It was just, he was at college, and then after college, he was at EE, but all in the meantime, he was doing like deliveries with us, he was working in the factories, working in the shop. And it was not like, at the time, it was just like extra money for Callum.
Yeah, I was learning the trade without even knowing I was
learning the trade without even knowing how important
It was going to be.
it was going to be.
Yeah, because at the
Do you know
time,
what I mean?
it just...
'Cause I grew up in the trade.
Yeah.
So people can discredit me for all they want and say, oh, yeah, it's all this person, all that person. For me, it's equally me and Callum. Even though I was brought up in the trade and I started it and I started getting on Gumtree, but Callum also learned everything about the trade as well in such a short space of time. So, yeah, Callum's been really, really important for me, especially just like during hard times as well. There was a time when, well, I think Cameron mentioned it, didn't he? On his on the podcast he was on, when he was like, Phil was going to pack it all in once.
Yeah.
So there was a time in 2019.
That recent?
Yeah,
Huh,
2019.
I thought, because I was going to ask you about that. And
I think there's been 3 times where I felt like I had no choice but to give up.
Really?
Like I can't go any further forward here. Like I think it's free.
Never.
But the main one for me was 2019, where I said to Callum, there was only me and him left in the warehouse because we were getting like wagons and wagons of beds in. And that's not being big-headed. It was just uncontrollable.
They were unrelenting.
But it got that uncontrollable to the point where our overheads were eating up everything, and there was just that much happening at once. You didn't have time to try and sit down and figure out what was going on. We were just winging it.
Yeah.
It was just mental. And then there was this time when I just said, Callum, look, I said, we're out of business here. I said, this is it. This is your last day. I said, you can go and get a job.
Never.
Like, not me. I wasn't saying it to him like, go get a job.
No.
I was saying like, you can always move on now and go get a job. And he went, no way. He said, I'm not giving up. He said, I can only carry on as long as you carry on. He said, but I'm willing to stand with you and keep going. So I was like, look, we're potless. And he said, no, I promise I'll get a credit card. I'll live on a credit card for a while. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I want to keep going. And we kept going.
No way.
It was always going to be...
There was obviously a lot more to it in terms of how hard it was. So it's quite hard to talk about, but yeah, Callum supported me.
It's always going to be a team effort. Like, I couldn't have done anything without you, and you couldn't have done it without me. And if it was ever going to work, it would have to take 100% of both of us.
Yeah.
Couldn't take 50% of one and anything like that. It would have to be, if we're going to do it, we have to do it, and we have to see it right the way through to the end. But we both have to put as much into it as possible.
I think it's times like that, for example, that thing you've just said there, when that day came, when you're having that conversation with Callum, and that Callum saying, get a credit card, and you're just coming through together. I think it's probably things like that that have made you...
Things like this are what makes your journey.
Yeah.
Because looking from the outside, anyone that's known the luxury bed company for a lot of years, they'll have just seen that because of social media. Going back to what we were saying about social media before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything just looks mint. And me looking at our social media, I just think it just looks like it's just been plain sailing forever.
Easy work, yeah.
And there's been another couple of times, or maybe it's another one that I do remember before that, where it was just, I'm gonna have to pack in. There's probably been loads of other times, minor times, like smaller times, where I thought, is this even worth it? But then you've got to just, if you really want it, and I've always said this, when you really want something, you go out and get it. Do you know what I mean? If you really want something to be a success, you'll do everything that's in you to make it a success. So we just carried on, and don't get me wrong, we've had hard times ever since. Like, business does this.
Of course.
That's what people don't see. People who are in business know this, know exactly what I'm talking about right this second. But like people on the outside who just look at their social media and it just looks mean, because the followers have never went up, down, down. The followers just go up and up and up. The posts are getting better. The people who are meeting are getting higher up in terms of, well, that sounded bad, but like, started off
stature,
with,
who they are. They're getting bigger and bigger people.
Yeah.
It's, a natural progression,
so it
isn't
just looks all plain sailing.
Yeah, it does.
But it's never like that.
No.
And we're always going to have hard times. We've got hard times coming in the future that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
But as long as you know how to adapt to your environment and know what changes to make, now that we've been through them experiences before, we know how to make certain changes, and right, we need to like slow down with this or do this. Like just adapting to your environment.
Yeah, adapting. But it's true what you say. I'm in business as well. I'm not quite where you are, but like you say, if you were to look at my business's social media, you think, it's going fantastic. Like, yeah, we're all right, but we're not putting out the stresses on social.
Office full of staff.
Yeah.
Nice building, kitted out, acoustic panelling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Acoustic panelling, yeah.
People say, whoa, I want to be like them. They've got the big building and they've got all the staff.
But they don't see what...
But it's not always plain sailing.
No, it's not that. You know this, you were... Because this, you must have some travel. You know, you've been you had this chapter before you were like sort of where you are. You had this traveling up and down the country, selling beds.
Best days of our life.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. You must have some stories. There must be some mental stuff of how.
Yes, I've got good.
Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. Is there anything that you can share on a podcast? Anything that
There's nothing that's explicit. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got a good story, but we'll try and think throughout the podcast.
Right.
But I've got a good one. So back in the day, literally, office, we were a mobile office. So people were ringing this
Pocket landline, wasn't it, at the time?
pocket landline.
To get the 0800 number.
Yes. No, it was 01325.
Right.
So it was just a little Nokia,
Yeah.
and we had our invoice pad,
Right.
and people would ring up and order, yeah. And then, or people would go through the website, and as an order comes through the website, it didn't get printed off, we'd write it down, or
No,
Callum
right.
would, I'd be doing driving. But in the meantime of doing that, me and Callum are just up and down the country, picking our beds up that from our manufacturers for like next week's deliveries, back up and down the country. Don't get me wrong, we used to have the odd night out here and there.
Well, you had to, didn't you? I mean, you can't be all work and no play, can
Met
you?
some really strange and random people up and down, like on our journeys around the country. But there was this one time we were going down Essex to do some deliveries, right? And did I already have a bag on me of spare clothing, or did I just happen to?
I think it was just in the van anyway, you know.
Yes. Anyways, as somehow I had some clothes on me, would allow me to look normal on a night out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was getting late. I was like, we can't drive back now. We're gonna have to stop off. And back then there was no flash hotels. These were like half a star places.
Yeah.
We stayed. So the story that I'm telling you, we stayed
bad hotels.
in a place. It was like staying above the boot and shoe. Probably worse, actually, wasn't it?
It was miles
Worse.
Shout out Boot and Shoe.
It was horrible.
No offence to the boot and shoe.
No.
So on our last job, we delivered to some lad. It was a bit strange. But it was like a bit of not a lad's lad, but you could see he was like a single lad living on his own in Essex.
Right.
But he wasn't like an Essex typical type.
Right.
It was a bit strange. So I was like, Callum, so where we were staying was above like more of a Hoskins.
Right.
Do you get me?
Yeah, I've got you.
Like a bit of a nightclub, but not a nightclub. It's where you go before the nightclub.
A lively place.
Nice, lively place.
Yeah.
So we found where we were going to stay. So I was like, Callum, you need some clothes. But at this point, it's like 9 o'clock at night. So I rings the man who we'd just done delivery to him and said, hello, mate. I said, delivery driver. I said, you haven't got any spare clothes Callum could borrow, could you? I said, we're going out tonight. I said, he's got no clothes. He went, yeah, just pop back, mate, and call over.
But he was a bit of a lad's lad where like you could ask him that question. I wasn't saying I want the best of clothes out of you. It was more like just is anything that you, because when you're delivering, you get covered in dust and muck and that, don't you?
So we go to the lad's house, and he was like this,
Poor.
little small bald lad, like proper.
Hey,
So
son.
he said to Callum,
Like a marathon runner.
these are the clothes that I've got. These are the clothes that I've got. So they'll have to make do, yeah. So I was like, yeah, get them. Come on, we're going. So he goes back to this little bed and breakfast. Well, it wasn't even bed and breakfast. There was no food anywhere to be seen.
Just bed.
So Callum puts this like All Saints t-shirt thing on. Do you know where it was like, it looked like it was being ripped here.
I
So it was
remember
like a
them.
V, but like it looked like it being ripped.
Yeah.
And like the sleeves were up here.
Yeah.
And it was, obviously Callum's a lot bigger than this lad now, do you know what I mean? And it was absolutely skin. And I mean, it
was
looked
like
like
a
he'd been,
sausage
it looked like he'd been
versus
spray
skin.
painted. He'd have actually been better off painting,
Yeah, you would have been.
painting himself white to look like a t-shirt. It was
Right.
skin tight. He had these skin tight jeans on, and then just whatever shoes he had on at the time. But that was hilarious. It
was a sight to behold.
The sleeve was there. The sleeve was there, and it was just welded to him.
I couldn't move because the sleeves and because I was eating that much. Just getting the drinks out the bar and stuff.
Oh, no. What a bonny sight you must have looked.
Although the hotel was terrible, it was actually
horrible.
a really nice area that we were staying in, weren't we?
Yeah, where
Like it was a posh area.
Not Colchester. What's the other one?
Chelmsford.
Chelmsford. That's where it was at.
Chelmsford.
So
I know
it's
he's got
got
Cheltenham.
like, pretty wealthy, well-to-do people.
Yeah, Essex is nice, so they say.
And then you've got me with that top.
There's no good hotels in Essex, though, you know. I've been
Isn't
to Essex
there?
loads of times. No, 'cause it's all like back roads and that, innit? It's all country roads.
Yeah, it's all
So when I've
spread
been
out.
down, like when me and Joe's been down do like collaborations and stuff, you can't find a good hotel. I hate it.
Right.
I actually hate staying in Essex.
That's so weird because Essex is
Yeah.
sort of the stereotype, is it?
But when you speak to people in Essex, they always say like, yeah, the show makes it look glamorous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Essex is a bad place, but it looks like it's all cities and that, doesn't it? And it's all, but it's not. It's all back roads and country roads and
Is it?
yeah.
Loads of because
You got a couple of Marriott hotels, like,
yeah.
but and they said like, well, no, everyone in Essex just goes into London.
Right. Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally next to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Huh. Do you
If
know?
any other stories pop to my head, I'll.
Yeah, do.
I'll
That's
hire
a,
him
that's
out.
a beauty, that one. I mean, I'm trying to like imagine what that lad must have thought. Like, this was a customer, right?
Well, he had the clothes prepared before we got there, so he knew what he was giving Callum. He was like, "Yeah, I'm never wearing them, so I'll give him them."
Yeah.
But that's all I was after. I wasn't after like
His best club.
I wasn't after his best
No.
club. I was
No.
after his what he probably would have given away to charity.
And that's what you got.
That's what I
exactly
got.
what
That's what you got.
I've actually got the photo somewhere. I'll have to. I'll try and find out my phone before I leave, and then I don't know if you do little pop-ups on your podcast.
Yeah,
or
we do,
anything.
yeah.
I'll get
We'll
it.
pop
No,
it-
but
we'll
you know,
pop it up.
respect to the lad as well. You know, he's obviously
Yeah,
took it in his stride.
Because
you know?
otherwise, I'd have been going out with like muck and dirt all over me. So yeah, I didn't look great, but I also didn't look homeless either.
Yeah.
So it
You
could have
just
been
look like
worse.
you'd grown a lot in the last hour.
Yeah.
That's what you look like. Do you know what I mean? Just had a
welded to
massive
him.
growth
It was
spurt
welded to
very,
him.
very quick the last hour. Do you know, this is something, right? Because you two are in business, right? And I want to ask you, because I'm also in business and I'm genuinely interested. Do you have any like principles, rules, or laws that you stick to in your business? Like things like, I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, well, principles.
Golden rules.
Yeah, golden rules that apply to you and yous only.
Don't make the same mistake twice.
Well, we do that all the time.
I know. But I'm trying to tell someone else not to.
Do as I say, not as I do. One of them.
Golden rules. Oof. There's got to be something, Callum. Come on. There'll be millions. There'll be loads. Trying to think what there is.
Besides the customer service and, all that sort of stuff is...
I know what you mean. Like golden rules, just like as in that's like we don't do that.
we have one where we work, and it's might be a bit controversial, but we tend, and again I'm sorry, we tend to pay a bit over the odds for staff. You know what I mean? That's one of our golden rules. That we've got various people who work for us at the company, and we know what the going rate is for these people. We're not saying we lavish people with cash or anything, but we pay them a little bit more than the going rate. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you tend to, I hate to say this, but we tend to get a bit more loyalty.
But you
that
get a
way.
return on
This
investment.
Yeah.
is the thing. This
And
is
if
what I do.
if you have somebody to do something outside of work, they generally don't mind doing it because they know they're getting looked after.
That's what I do. Everyone that looks at my company gets looked after.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got people coming and going all the time. Megan's been with me now for how long's Megan been with us?
Good while now.
2019, August 2019 she started. So what's that? It's almost 5 years. So yeah, she gets looked after. She'll always get looked after. I mean, if I had two Megans, I'd be over the moon. They all get looked after, and like you say, I feel like we pay over the odds, definitely.
I think it's important.
But like you said,
In
it's
fact,
return
no,
on-
we
on
definitely do.
investment. It's,
Because for what the job is, in terms of what you need to do on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
like you say, what the salary should probably be. But yeah, we look after
Because
our loyal. I
it-
mean, everyone's loyal, but
it's
Like in the-
it's a really difficult when people leave for other jobs and you've got those positions to fill. Do you know what I mean? Like we found staff hard to find. Do you know what I mean? So when we get someone, we want to make sure they're staying. And look, this it's not all about the money. Of course, you've got to be a decent place to work and you've got to treat them right. But money is important, and if they're getting paid more than they're going to get anywhere else, that's a big reason to stay.
yeah, I
in
feel
my
like
opinion.
that's the same at our place.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were doing this job anywhere else, but it's not just a job sometimes, or we're like a family. We're like going from home to home. Do you know what I mean? We're spending 8 hours a day together.
Yeah, you seem that way. Like you seem,
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. Like I was saying to Meg today in the car when we nipped to the shop to get some refreshments for Gareth Potts coming around. And I was like, we need to do something this year. There's something I want to do, like fun, like whether it be go-karting or whatever it be, like something fun. So we've always done something where we do fun stuff. Yeah, it's good to look after your people, isn't it?
I don't remember Tough Mudder being fun.
Oh yeah, we did Tough Mudder once.
You did Tough Mudder.
Yeah, Callum actually ran the full lot, apart from when you have to do your obstacles. Because you can run or walk in between. Have you done it?
It doesn't look fun to me.
That's fucking mint.
It looks hard work.
I loved it. I love it.
You must be fit, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I train a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing much cardio lately though, so my fitness isn't as what it probably used to be. But
No.
yeah, I'm healthy, I would say.
Team building's important for these, for your team.
It's good because you're doing stuff outside of work where you kind of you're still doing stuff together and bonding, but you're switching off from work and you're not talking about work. I mean, like we're driving down Tough Mudder and we weren't talking about work or customers or.
Yeah, you're not shouting order numbers at each other.
No.
It's different types of conversation, and that's how you gravitate towards people.
Can I just say something off camera? How does it work when you need the toilet?
We just stop.
Yeah.
Say it. Yeah.
That's what you go for a wheel?
Yeah, just go for this. That's how it is. Yeah, you're right,
You
man.
go on camera.
No, I've got a child's bladder. I need pisses every half an hour. Like I'm terrible. Did you find when you were a caffeine head, you pissed more?
Yeah, but I drink. Do you know the big ones? These.
Yeah, you're smashing them.
Do maybe 3 of them a day. So I'm always.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm the same. I'm off these. I'm never. I have to think there's something wrong with me every half an hour. I'm go again.
I'm glad I don't do caffeine anymore.
Yeah, I'm.
2 coffees at least a day, and then 3 or 4 Red Bulls a day, man.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I mean,
I look at them cans of Red Bull now, I'm like, oh.
you don't like them now. Just
Nah.
minging. The thought of it's horrible.
Yeah.
There's loads more to it as well. I think caffeine not just keeps you up. I think it causes anxiety as well.
That's what it was for me.
1,000,000%.
For me, it was the anxiety. I couldn't handle it.
Oh,
Yeah.
My body was running on anxiety. I was a million mile an hour. I mean, I know I'm still a million mile an hour now because I'm probably full of ADHD, but the caffeine.
Sometimes
the
I get
caffeine
it.
probably triggered it off a lot more than what
if
I'd already had.
If I had a Costa coffee now, I would break down in tears.
So are you off the caffeine as well?
Yeah.
If I had a coffee or a Red Bull
Blown
now,
away.
I would shake. Like I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'd feel off me nuts.
Do you remember what we used to get up and down the road all the time?
What? Oh yeah, we used to get a twirl and a Red Bull.
And a Scotch egg.
Oh, and a Scotch egg. Yeah. But I started off with twirl Red Bull.
Twirl and a Red
And then
Bull,
that was like our snack.
Right.
Twirl, Red Bull, and Scotch egg. Oh, perfect combination. It was.
Keep you going, wasn't it?
The snack of champions. Isn't it? No, do you know what's funny? Caffeine, like, I was speaking to my mum about this the other day. Like, if you think our entire planet pretty much functions on caffeine, like the whole of the world is like caffeine addicts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I watched this thing. He was on a podcast. I'm going to butcher it. I don't know who he was. He was basically this old guy. He must have been 70-year-old, right? He looked like an old man. And he was some kind of like, I don't want to say scientist, but researcher of like substances. So he was there to talk about like, nootropics and mushrooms. This is all doing the rounds at the moment.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this.
Yeah, a lot of stuff on podcasts are getting talked about in terms of stuff like that.
mushrooms and acid, whatever it is. But he was talking about caffeine. And he was saying that basically the entire world, we're all taking caffeine all the time. So we don't really feel the effects of what caffeine is actually supposed to do. Now, he had tried something. He was somebody, who was drinking coffee every day, had done his entire life. He went, could have been 6 months, I forget. It was a long period of time, and he had 0 caffeine, right? None whatsoever.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, he expected this to happen, and he went somewhere and he had a cup of coffee, and he described that feeling as euphoric. It wasn't just
Really?
it wasn't just like, oh, there's my fix. Like, he was like seeing things, colours went vibrant, So I'm just thinking, because you used to haven't had caffeine for ages, if he's ever
Yeah, but you have caffeine, don't you? You're not like how I am with caffeine.
I don't drink tea or coffee.
I do not. I drink tea.
I don't even drink
There's
water.
caffeine in tea.
I know, but you get people that say, "Oh, there's more caffeine in tea than there is in coffee." Let me tell you now, there's
There
not.
isn't. No, there isn't.
I can have 2 cups of tea a day, easy, but I don't.
No.
I can't leave the house without a cup of tea, so maybe I do have that.
One night, if you want to,
Caffeine craving.
if you want to have a good Friday night, just you don't need to go and get 3 for $100. You could just sit in the house with a Red Bull. You know what I mean? Okay, and you'd be away with a mixer. Literally, what a night that would be. Do you know? Right. So, designing these beds, I've learned something today. I didn't know that you did everything from scratch. So my research isn't that good. How were you to do what you do? You must be a seamstress, a joiner. Well,
So we don't build the beds ourselves,
Right.
physically.
so how's it all
Is that
work?
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a manufacturer.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
They make the beds,
they make the beds.
but you design them.
Yeah.
Right.
We design them. Oh, we've during our Instagram journey, so it hasn't always just been influencers in terms of TV reality stars and all that, or whatever you want to call them. Instagram's quite big for home interior bloggers and stuff, isn't it? I don't know if you've seen home accounts. People have home accounts, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
So we've worked with, and we also have a lot of brand ambassadors who've got loads of followers in terms of home accounts who do home interior blogging and all that. So a lot of home accounts that we've worked with have come to us with inspiration. And then we've said, yeah, this is possible, that's possible, yeah, let's do it like this or let's do it like that. Or they've just brought a design to us and we've went, or a drawing, said, well, I want something that's going to look unbelievable, but with this sort of pattern. So a lot of it has come from the help of other people who have also got creative minds.
Right.
So yeah, but a lot of our stuff, yeah, we've designed ourselves.
Right from the ground up. Where do you get the inspiration from then? The ones that you designed. Where do you see things online and think I'm going to make that?
There's been times when I've been driving and I've thought of a design in my head.
Really?
So then I've got to write it up from detail to detail in my head. And then I don't know, just a lot of it's when I've been driving. I do remember a couple of designs that I designed in my head when I was driving. And like you say, just other people bringing inspiration to you.
Do you know what I was thinking you should bring back? Right. Do you remember revolving porno beds? Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm
The
talking
spinny
about?
ones.
Kama Sutra, no?
No, so it used to be popular in the 70s and that, I think. You used to get
We have to
like this sort of gear. Do you know what I mean? Like a round bed. And some of them, they revolve. They go round. Do you know what I mean? Look, you see the ideas are popping there. You think, what's worrying is that underneath it says my grand's round bed. That's brutal, isn't it?
What's he said?
What's Grandma been up to?
Click on some of the where you're not allowed to see them. You might get something else up.
Yeah.
No, but you can get.
What in the world was that?
Right, okay.
Big blue waffle.
Right, Johnny.
Hey, there's a couple of old beds. But look, you see how that go to the right. Go to the right, go to the right.
This one here.
No, the next one along.
This one. Here.
That one. That's actually our bed, one of our brand ambassadors, but another website using our image.
No way.
It says waterbed. Is it a waterbed?
Maybe there's a water mattress on it.
Do you know?
They're selling it as a waterbed, but that's not what that is in the photo.
No, I was thinking.
That's another one of our beds there. Not that one. That's go back. No, not that one. It's gone now, I think.
Yeah, but listen, I was thinking there's a round bed. I was thinking a round revolving bed. I'm telling you, I reckon
We used to
there's
do a
market
big
for it.
round bed. We do a kind of a round bed. It's a bit like that actually, but obviously better.
Yeah.
And it has a curved headboard, but you put a square mattress on it.
Right.
But I know what you mean. An actual round base, round mattress.
Be a nightmare. getting a
Revolving
mattress.
base.
Like Peter Stringfellow. You know what I mean?
We have made a Kama Sutra chair for someone before.
Love this.
Do you know where you can do every position on it?
Right.
We just had a customer.
You want one making?
No, what's the word? No filter.
She wasn't very
Just
upfront about it, though, mind.
She just wanted a Kama Sutra chair. I think we've actually done a couple.
Well, it was me and
But
you were about two different customers.
Very far between each other.
Yeah.
Very early on.
Well, and the
then-
customer was open about
So
what it was.
the customer I'm on about, what she was like, oh, do you do this type of chair? I would love it in the bay window and all that. I thought, I know what that chair is. And she was like, yeah, kind of. And I remember speaking to her on the phone just thinking, I know what you get up to.
production. I might. No, I think we might have made a joke. We might have joked about this. I'm sure we joked about saying print off all the ways you can do it on there. and put it in with a
Staple it in with the delivery note.
staple it in with the delivery note. I don't think we did. I thought we
user
did, but I think it was. Yeah, so we have made a Kama Sutra chair. Am I saying it right? Kama
Don't
Sutra.
believe it. There's your user manual.
Oh,
There's your
God,
user
it is as
manual.
well. Let's have a look at the manual. Hey, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
You're enjoying that, aren't you?
That's me.
What do you call him again?
Oh, what?
What do you call
Southpaw.
Southpaw.
He's left-handed. He doesn't let it affect him, though. He manages fine in life.
Yeah, so we had a customer. It wasn't American, was it? It was UK, that.
UK, yeah.
UK, yeah.
Do you know what is another product you could do, right? Do you know what's big? I've got friends who live in Mexico. Hammocks are massive. Luxury bed company, hammocks. You're welcome. You can have that. I'm telling you, hammocks. Think about it. Do you know what I mean? People have them, you know.
What with like a luxury bed company mattress that's like sort of integrated into the hammock.
You could, normally a hammock, as far as I understand it, is just rope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, see that one there?
Rope.
Yeah.
It's probably like full of, what would you say is there, Callum? Fibre, foam?
Yeah, I mean, it would be
But
I
then
bet
wouldn't
they'd
that
sell.
be-
a nasty one.
That one there looks like a bit of a mattress on it. That one there, yeah?
Sunbrella.
Huh.
It's a hammock, mate.
Yeah, it's a hammock. But yeah, listen, I'm telling you, I think they'd sell, you know, luxury bed company hammocks.
We'll have to get on it.
I bet rich people would have them in the garden. But they would.
Well, I'd have one.
Yeah, I'd have one. If I had a
There you
garden.
go.
You'd
There's
love
two.
one of them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, not half.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You're welcome. There's a product idea for
Thank
you
you
there.
very much.
I have to ask this, right? What type of bed do you have, Phil? Because
Sensitori bed.
what does that mean? What does it look like?
Sensitori.
Because you're not rocking.
SENSAT.
I don't imagine.
There.
I don't.
There. Go back.
Which one, Southpaw?
Top
There,
left.
top left.
Top left.
Luxury bed company, Sensitori.
Top left, Southpaw.
Yeah, that one there, you're on it.
That one.
Yeah.
That's your bed, is it?
Yeah. No, that's not my bed, but that I've got the same bed as that.
What about you? You
that
rocking
was
I've got a Roslyn bed.
a Roslyn bed.
ROSELYN.
I imagine you lads aren't rocking single divans with Argos mattresses on.
That one there, yeah. That was
Oofed. That your bed?
one of those, yeah.
It's very,
I mean-
it's very plush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason I've got that, though.
Space.
No, it wasn't that.
Oh yeah, funny story. Good story, I mean. Callum's got the Roslyn bed. So back when we were probably quite limited on where we could, me and Callum would travel anywhere. We travelled to Ireland and done 2 days in Ireland, just dropping beds off around Ireland.
Yeah, that was a beauty trip.
That was a good trip, that.
Yeah.
So there was a customer who sent in inspiration to have a bed made like that, the Roslyn. And so we made it, but it had to go to Inverness.
It was Inverness, yeah.
So Callum and another driver went all the way to Inverness.
Where's Inverness? Oh, Scotland.
Scotland, yeah.
What was it? 7 hours away or something?
Oh, it's miles away.
Yeah.
It's right on the
Yeah.
north coast. Yeah, yeah.
So Callum went all the way to Inverness.
It was
to
the last
drop
drop
it
on
off.
a day's deliveries as well. So we'd done like a day delivering, and then we had to like set off to her at like 4 in the afternoon or something.
Oh, you ain't getting there till midnight.
Yep.
Is that the night when I stitched you up or was it stay or booked you a room? So you had to share.
That
or
was
that different?
That was a few years later.
But that Roslyn bed, I think, believe it or not, in terms of stats, that's one of our maybe is our biggest selling bed of all time.
Is it?
We've sold more of them. Like there's still beds to today that hasn't beat the number of them we've sold.
Really?
That and the
popular?
Superior.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Just at the time they were so different.
Yeah.
There was nothing else like it.
So it's funny actually because we had the Superior, the one we just seen, the big chunky one with all the pleats and the buttons in it, like a Chesterfield pattern.
Really
then
pretty.
the Roslyn was like the flat version of it, but also the headboard come round a little bit and had like bead trim on it. So them two were incredible. Best, like I don't think there's anything that's outnumbered them to this day, even though we've got better beds now than what they are. But just at that time, must have just hit it at the right time. And then that's when I designed, in my head, I was driving down the road, and I remember some people who couldn't have the Superior bed because of the size of it, but didn't want the Roslyn. So now I'm driving down the road, I think I was going to North Wales or somewhere, And I remember I need to design a bed that's in between for the customers who don't want the Roslin but can't have the Superior,
Right.
or vice versa.
Yeah, like a middle ground.
So the Luciano bed, I designed it in my head. If you can find that, Luciano, Luciano.
Will it just be on Google Image, will it?
Just put Luciano bed, it'll come up. Luxury Bed Company.
So you designed this bed?
So it's a chunkier version of the Roslin bed.
Right. Where did you come up with this name from? How do you think of this name, Luciano? Where'd that come from?
Go to that one, bottom right one there. That might be a better angle. So you see how it's a little bit chunkier than what the Roslin bed was that Callum said he had?
Yeah. Decent bed.
And it's not as chunky as the Superior. It's actually less chunkier.
Right.
So yeah, I designed it in my head. And I just had to draft it up in like in my notes or an email. Sent it to production and said that's how I want it.
Do you name that bed then?
Yeah.
But how'd you come up with that name, Luciano?
Just probably because it wasn't a name that we'd used before.
It sounds exotic.
Some beds have got sentimental meanings to them.
Right.
I mean, well, some are named after people that have helped design them with us. So we'll say, oh yeah, you can choose a name for them.
Right.
In the past, we've let people get away with some awful names, and I'm not being disrespectful if anyone's watching this, but like some of the names, as good as like Karen bed, but we haven't had a Karen bed. And then a lot of them I've just named.
I think you should
myself.
I think you should do the Stringfellow bed. I think that's one. I'm telling you, I think there's a market
Stringfellow.
for it. You know what I mean? Or the Narco bed. That could be the hammock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Narco range. You know what I mean? Listen, product ideas, lads. You know, I'm happy to help. Do you know?
Well, look, if you can help. Well, it's always appreciated.
I wanted to ask a little one. Obviously, people do have this misconception being business owners like yourself, especially like a successful business. I think in the early days, I just wanted to know, like, how many hours were you putting in on the regular? Because
good question.
I mean, now it might change, and hopefully you've got holidays now. But
Glad you brought that up. We were doing that many hours trying to graft an hour ass off, and this is what people didn't see. There was times, right? Take me out off to Callum. He's been there for me when my little girl was first born. So there was times where I did have to actually make it home, even though I was making it home when she was asleep. And I was leaving the house before she was getting up, so it was pointless in going home. There was times where there was that many wagons coming in, right? We were finishing at like midnight or 1 a.m, but the next one was coming in at 5. It was pointless for Callum to go home, to get home, get into bed, to then get back up again. So Callum used to just like it basically napped in the warehouse.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the funny thing was,
don't get me wrong, it wasn't like consistently for like weeks and months,
but now and
just
then.
the odd time.
Yeah,
There
every
would be
now and
time where
again,
it was like
it might be like Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then it wouldn't happen for sort of like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So there were few and far between, but there were just sometimes the wagons were coming and going, the vans were coming and going. And you just think it's pointless me running backwards and forwards across town. We just need to stay there.
Even when we'd stopped running up and down the country ourselves, we had now had loads of lads working for us and loads of vans around our neck.
Who were running up and down the country. So as soon as they were getting back, we were loading them back up so they could go to bed and go to sleep so they can get back up down the road again early again. Yeah.
And then we were getting back up in the morning, unloading the next truck. So for when they get back, all their beds are ready to go on their vans. Oh, it was just a mental cycle. To be honest with you, I don't even know what was going on.
I think it's only
we were just winging it at one point.
Yeah.
It's important there's been 2 years, really. Imagine it was just 1 year. Like,
it isn't, but that's why I said to him today, I said, do you want to come on this podcast? I said, because I understand how my brain works. Forget a lot of things, like especially in the moment.
of course.
Especially when there's a lot going on. And I was like, why don't you come on? I said, because there'll be certain things like there, like what we just on about there when you asked that question. You come back to me about Callum. And there's just certain things where he might bring something up and it'll trigger something for me. Same for me, I might say something and it'll trigger something for him and he'll remember something.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's why I only asked him today.
No, I think it's fitting. I'm pleased you had Callum, because I say I'd heard about you through the podcast and stuff, and you know what little I watched of it, it's clear how important you were in this story, you know. I know I was going to talk to Phil and I was going to ask things about Phil's life as well, but really this is about the luxury bed company,
Yeah.
that's what this was about. That's what we're interested in, more than anything.
You can say anything about luxury bed company.
And yeah,
If there's anything we don't want to say, we'll just say it.
Yeah.
We don't want to answer it,
but no,
everything should be sound.
it's definitely clear that it's like you're complimenting each other, like you've both got certain bits that you're adding into it, you know what I mean? And like you're creating like one thing, if that, not to sound corny or anything, you know what I mean? Like two's making like one complete thing.
Yeah.
And you definitely, because you are different, it's clear you're different personalities.
Yeah.
And you can't,
Callum's been sat in the same position all the time. I don't sit still. Like, I'm a man who likes to be on his feet and like move around.
Fast.
I can't sit at a desk all day.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't sit still. I'm full of ADHD, I think.
That's what it is.
I mean, it's only these last, these last few years where it's just like, I'm non-stop, man. I just can't sit still.
He's non-stop and I've been sat down since 8:30 this morning.
I have a similar thing with my business partner, Reese. Shout out Reese. He's a bit like you, Phil. He's fast.
Yeah.
Everything, everything going on at once. Like you said, probably.
I know Reese. I know. He is like that.
He's just fast. Everything's just boom, boom, boom.
He's a million mile an hour. That's what he is.
It gives me anxiety, but I'm a bit more. Sort of your way, Callum. I'm a bit more like, still.
back.
I go home and like just sit still. Do you know what I mean? Like Reese is just bang, 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 bang. Reese has got like 10 lives. You know what I mean? Going on at once. But when we come together, we wind each other up sometimes, but we do complement each other in certain ways.
Make it work.
Sometimes I'm a bit slow off the mark, and he's fast to like pick stuff up and get stuff done quick when it needs to be done quick. And sometimes he might
You're
run
a little bit more observant, then someone come to you.
I'm more of a watcher.
Like,
so sometimes if I see something like, hang on, Reese, like this might not be the way, mate, and we do complement each other. Like, so I think you've got.
it's good to have two people that are completely different.
Yeah.
And you're
100%.
always going to have argue. Me and you used to scream at each other in the warehouse, and then
Did you have Barney's?
2 or 3 minutes later, you just hear the rebel.
It's just like
Like
nothing malicious or nothing like bad. It's just when stuff needs to be done or when stuff's happening.
Yeah.
You do scream and shout at each other like that needs to be done there or that needs to happen there or
Same.
Yeah.
like
Same.
Or if something
that's
goes
just so
wrong,
it
or-
keeps the momentum going of what's going on at that time. And then once you get back in the car, drive home, you're like,
You both know it's ultimately
should we go
all
get
for the
a chicken
same.
wrap or should we go get? Do you know what I mean? Like, just because you're in work and you're screaming, shouting at each other doesn't mean there's any like.
Listen, I
Do you
get
know
you,
what I mean?
lads.
No.
Me and Reese are saying, like, we sometimes stop each other and say, it's mad. You do realise, like, we're trying to do the same thing. Like, we're all,
Yeah,
this is part
that's
of the
right.
same mission, and we've just had a scream and Barney at each other where, like, it gets real heated. We're fucking this at
Yeah.
each other. And then when you walk away, you think, hang on, we want the same thing.
It's just passion, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you both got the same goal in mind,
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
yeah.
If yous two didn't do what yous did now, right? Let's just complete fiction, complete imaginary world, right? And I want you to answer it quick, right? See what, because I think that's more natural. What would yous be if yous weren't what you were now? What other career would you do?
I think I'd still be office based.
Office space.
I definitely think you'd still be office based.
Yeah.
Don't know what I'd be, but I would have always worked for myself because I was like always brought up in that way where you go out, you make a living.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
that was ingrained in you.
Yes. So I don't know. I can't really answer and say I'd have done this or I'd done that, but I can tell you what sort of.
You'd be in business.
I'd be in business.
in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Whatever it would be, selling this, doing that, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was intrigued, I always dream. I always think I'd love to be. I think I watch too many, Suits. I always think I'd love to be a lawyer. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a great life. You know what I mean? But then you
I
realise.
think it'd be stressful being a lawyer.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That looks a businessman. You're wearing the suits. There's always hot chicks. I'm
but-
watching Suits, Anna. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to know your stuff and you've got to perform, haven't you? Like,
Imagine
Yeah.
turning
Sorry
up
being
to
a lawyer, but if
a
you're
court
a
case
crap
and all that.
I know, yeah, hanging. I just think it looks the business, doesn't it? Imagine studying court and you're on trial and all this and you're making a case and you swing the jury your way.
I mean, as long as you're getting good money.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they do,
brilliant.
right?
I don't know.
I think
yeah,
it
they
is.
do. I mean, your top gadgets get fortunes, but they only get fortunes
Who's any what?
because they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be a good lawyer.
Do you
to
want
tell
to have a
the
drink, Callum?
truth. I'm all right, thank you.
sure?
I
You
genuinely,
get dry mouth doing this side, don't you?
I
You do
don't drink.
Have some sweeties. Get a bit of sugar in you. What would, if anything, the answer might be nothing, and this is a question to you both. You both turn 30 now, right?
Yeah.
What, if anything, would you do different? To where
We
you...
always have this conversation. Callum says when we say, would you do it all over again? Yes and no. I mean, I wouldn't know because it's like...
Why no?
Like say, Instagram and social media looks like that. But let me tell you now, it's been fucking stressful.
Poor.
Been hard, like a lot of hard years.
Yeah, I bet.
Do you know what I mean? Just to get where we are today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're anywhere in terms of like anywhere near like retirement or because we wouldn't. It's not in me to start retiring at early age, but
No.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go through it all again. I'd go through it all again, knowing what I know now. But then that would just be like a cheat code, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't make
But-
it too easy.
Yeah. But if I had to go through it all again, if everything went, if everything just went the way we didn't want it to go and we had to start all over again with something else but then 30-year-old starting all that again. But then again, still young, aren't we?
Don't
Yeah.
they say the journey's better than the end goal anyway?
The journey is.
Isn't that the...
But I feel like we're still in our journey. We've only just started America.
Of course you are. You're just doing all right, but this isn't the end of the story.
No.
No.
The story's just beginning.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
still in chapter 1. Like a
Yes.
30-year-old, you've been in business, what, a decade? Pretty much, or sort
Yeah,
of?
pretty
Give or
much.
take, yeah.
Like, fam, like, you know what I mean? Life's long,
Yeah.
People live in 80, 90, 100-year-olds. So, look, if this is a 10-chapter book, you could just be in chapter 2 now.
I
you know?
do always say I'd like to do a couple of days in the warehouse again.
Nah.
I wouldn't mind it.
No?
I tell you what I do miss. I do miss
Driving up and down the country, that's what you're going to say, innit?
driving up and down the country because when you're driving down that road
Why don't you just do it?
with the music on, I sometimes do.
As a one-off.
But
Just used to get together
normally
and go on a
when I
road
go,
trip.
well,
old
we are
times.
going to America soon, and we're going to drive it all. We've got to go to Houston, then we've got to go to Nashville, then we've got to go to Atlanta,
Wow.
and then we've got to go to Miami. So if you drove it all in one go, it'd be 1 day, 3 hours. What's that? 24.
1 day, 3 hours, 27 hours.
27 hours. So as long as we're ahead of schedule, we can stop off in between.
Wow.
So that's going to be a road trip. Because I was going to fly from Houston to Nashville and then drive to Atlanta because that's only like 4 hours, and then drive to Miami 10 hours.
Right.
But if we're ahead of schedule when we're there because we've got stuff to do, I'll just drive to Nashville, and then drive to Atlanta. Because over there, I imagine this is like anywhere in the world. But last time I went to America, I didn't realise how easy this was. You go on the rent-a-car app or whatever, pick a car, a company to go with, Enterprise or whatever, select your vehicle, put your pickup point, which is the airport you're flying to, and then put your drop-off point on the date which you're going to be flying home. But in our case, we don't really know when we're going to fly home because we don't know when we're actually going to be done. So you just put any date, you put like a week. And as you're going on your travels, you just keep editing it. And then it just tells you how much more money you owe. It's the most simplest thing in the world. I didn't realise it was because like we've hired vans all our life from Enterprise and stuff when we've been here doing our own deliveries. And it is an absolute headache.
You have to take it back and like redo it.
And like,
full of red tape and
I might have changed now because we don't do our own logistics. So back in the day, it was a headache hiring vans and that. You literally go on your phone, your Ford Mustang's waiting for you, or your Cadillac is waiting for you. You just put in an end date, and then you can just keep extending your time that you've got with the vehicle. And then once you know fully when it is, you just put like that's the airport. I'm dropping it off at 3 p.m. on that date. And then the money just comes out your bank.
It's much simpler.
So simple. You could go there, hire a car, not know how long you're going to have it, and just keep extending it for as long as you want.
It's a bit of a dream, that, innit? On the American highway in a Mustang. Like,
So that's the beauty about that. It's not like, right, we need an end date. Just pick any end date, do it in 2 weeks' time. And then if you say, oh, I'm actually coming home earlier, then you get refunded the difference. Or if you're extending it, you pay the difference.
have you driven in America before?
Well,
I don't drive.
It's just the same.
it's better.
Better. In what way?
You've got 8 lanes. There's no undertake, overtake rule. Everyone's just going, zoom.
Never.
Like, yeah, so you were driving down in a lane, and people are just taking over you on both sides. I'm assuming there's no undertake or overtake. Maybe it might just be me.
Yeah.
The way I was driving.
Yeah.
Driving like a little granny.
But that's what it looked like. Yeah.
But yeah, like, It was good. I like driving on the opposite side and a left-hand side car. It was good. So me and Joe went last time. So him and Joe went last year, and then me and Joe went early this year. And we drove... where did we drive? So we were in Houston. We hired a car while we were in Houston. Flew to Fort Lauderdale. Picked the Mustang up while we were in Fort Lauderdale. You got to, haven't you? If you're in Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
It'd be rude not to.
Then we went into Miami. Stayed in Miami for a couple of days and then flew on. But yeah, so next time it's going to be like a proper road trip.
Yeah. It's a lot of driving, that, you know.
Yeah,
Houston to Nashville. It's half the way across the country, isn't it?
Can't remember what it was. So
It's not Darlow to Leeds, put it that way.
no, this is why I said at the start there. I'm either going to fly from Houston to Nashville, or, just to get ahead of time, and then the road trip can actually start from Nashville to Atlanta to Miami, which will be, I think it's like 3 or 4 hours to Atlanta, then 10 hours to Miami.
Hey, you imagine Nashville. It's like the home of like music and that, isn't it? Nashville.
I can't wait.
Can
But
you
Nashville and
imagine
TikTok.
that?
It's just all country music, isn't it?
Country music,
I
and
love a bit of
barbecue,
country
and beer
music
and all that.
Oh, mate.
But their
That's life.
country's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you get loads of different type of country music. I'm not that into it, but I like it.
I'm banging to
But
it now.
some of it's
Aye.
like quite dance
Yeah,
country,
yeah.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
proper get you going.
I was never into this American country music till about 2 years ago. And it must be getting popular over there because I feel like I'd never heard of it before. But
Yeah.
now it's always, you know, like Spotify, like sort of gives you suggested songs. Every time I'm clicking on it now, I'm thinking like,
That's a good song.
it's a good song. You know, there's a lot of soul
Someone
in
comes
them.
up, it's like, that's a good song.
Yeah.
There's a good song that's just come out now. I don't know if you've heard it. Did I send you it? It's called A Bar Song.
A bar song?
Tipsy.
Nah, I never heard
It's
it.
fucking brilliant.
What kind of music is it?
A Bar Song.
Copyrighting that.
Copyright.
You get
that.
copyrighted. Yeah. We'll play it after.
Play it after. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, do you know what we're going to do? Because I want to get on to America, right?
Okay.
The USA and that. But before we do, I just want to... I know I mentioned it on the podcast with him, but I just want to say it again. That thing you did for Cameron, I think's a bit special. What did that feel like, being in the position to do that for you? He's your friend, right? A good friend.
Yeah.
That must have been a bit
It was
emotional,
special.
right?
It was very special.
That's what dreams are made of, as far as I'm concerned. One of my questions was, like, reasons. What's reason? You know, why do you do what you do? I guess things like that are one of the keys.
Yeah,
right?
the reason for wanting to be successful is to be able to be in a position to not give money away or stuff like that, but being in a position if, say, someone's poorly or whatever, and you can be in a position where, you know, you can make a change or giving someone a little boost in their career in terms of sponsorship. Loads of things. Giving your family a good life, helping out family who are maybe struggling. They're the main things, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're the ones that make you feel incredible.
100%.
Like, it's all right being able to go out and buy flash cars and have nice things and go on loads of holidays. Brilliant. Yes, that's maybe just a bit of financial freedom. But being
cheers,
able
Joe.
to make
Thank
a
you.
difference
Thank you very much.
to other people's lives is what makes you feel incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, sponsoring Cameron was a very special time. Well, you've obviously heard it before, but he was working on the wind turbines or whatever it was. And I remember some of the lads, so he had to stop training. You know what Cameron's like? He's a fit fanatic.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to stop training. And I remember one of the lads saying, I think he's a little bit, like he's a bit down in the dumps. I think he's a bit depressed. Without that sounding, I mean, it's a bit open that, but maybe he was just, I think he felt very shit about himself and his life. He didn't know where he was going,
Must be
didn't know what he was
really
doing.
frustrating, man.
Cameron wants to train, Cameron wants to fight. And I just remember I rang him one day and I just said, are you ready to leave a job? And he said, Phil, don't wind me up. So I'm being serious. I said, are you ready to leave your job? And he started crying on the phone and I started crying.
Oh.
And I just said, look, I said, this is what I'll do for you. I know this will help, but it's not going to change your life. It's enough to get you going, but then you can also go out and try and get other sponsors as well. And then he said, I'm going to put a post on Facebook about I'm going into MMA full time. And so he said, do you want me to mention it? I said, you know what? Nah, don't mention me. I'm not bothered. I don't want to be mentioned. It wasn't like I wanted clout or...
Didn't do it for that.
I wasn't doing it like thinking, oh, you know what? Cameron might be a world champion one day. If I do that for him, I'll get a few quid in the future. It's nothing to do with that. Just to give the lad a boost in his career. Do you know what I mean? I heard through the grapevine, through our friends, he was, down in the dumps, and this is what he wanted to do. I was in a position to do it. So... I said, no, don't mention me. I said, just put on that you're going full time and you're looking for sponsors. Anyway, he rang me back. He said, Phil, I'm going to have to edit the post. He said, you've changed my life. He said, I'm going to have to edit the post and put that you've kickstarted all this off. So I said, well, do what you please, if you want. But I was like, I don't expect it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I just thought it was amazing. I just think it's what dreams are made of, to be fair. I've been lucky enough in recent years to, she'll probably kill me. Mum doesn't have to go to work no more. Do you know what I mean? She works for me now, and that to me that's more important than anything really. That's made me feel better than anything I've ever bought.
That's what I'm saying. Stuff like that is a better feeling than like,
and it gives you a
buying
reason,
your first nice car, or do you know all these other things that you could be doing?
Yeah,
which we've all done.
Yeah.
But them feelings of doing something for someone that changes their life is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean?
It is. It's
because it makes you feel mint.
Yeah,
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, I think it's something that I don't think you can get that feeling from buying yourself something. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you can.
What I'm saying is, there's other things that you can be doing in terms of like buy a nice thing, go on nice holidays, and these are nice things that we can do in life and we work hard for.
Yeah, yeah.
But them, like you say there, your mum not having to work again, or at least work for somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably doesn't have to put as many hours in now.
No, a lot less.
Maybe does it to keep her busy.
Yeah.
But that's an amazing feeling for you.
Oh, amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the point I was making is, over all the years of stuff I've bought, and I've wasted a lot of money on a lot of silly things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all done that.
Chasing things, to make me feel good, but nothing's made me feel like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's a different ballpark.
Different kettle of fish altogether.
100%.
I feel that you've got to get that out your system as well, though, all the spending unnecessary money and buying things, and because as you grow up, you look at these successful people and you see what they've got, and you think, oh, I would love that. That's my dream car. That's my dream house. That's my dream lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that point, it's like...
It's almost trial and error, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't like you don't get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. What you're saying there is when you do things to change people's lives or help people, you get a much better feeling, but forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's for me, it's like a reason. You know what I mean? It's a reason. When you wake up in the morning, we all feel it sometimes. Your head's battered. You're stressed. You're off the caffeine. Your anxiety's through the fucking roof. You know what I mean? But when times are a bit tough, it's things. It's that. For me, it's that. I think about things like that, and it just a little voice just says, just remember why you're doing this, Dan.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And then you sort of think, oh yeah, I know why I'm doing this now. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the Cameron Hardy thing. Listen, massive respect. Like that's. It moved me. I didn't know he was going to say that, when he was here, and caught me off guard.
But did you not know that before he told you?
No.
Did you not?
No.
Ah.
Well, I found out on the day anyway. Put it that way.
Oh, before he came in?
Yeah, I found out on the day, but
right.
I just thought it was. I thought it was special. I'd love to be able to do that for my mate. Do you know what I mean?
He's fighting soon again,
Is he?
Bare knuckle.
No way. He's doing
on
the bare knuckle.
BKB in Newcastle on June the 8th. Hold on.
He's hard as nails, isn't he?
Jesus.
I remember, I'll tell you a story actually. Did he tell a Magaluf story?
He didn't know.
I think he told it off camera to me.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't think you were there for this.
No.
But
People know how athletic Cameron is. We all know he can fight. But he's had a few defeats, and he's had a few unlucky defeats. His last fight, he was so unlucky.
Yeah.
What was it? He got his ankle twisted or something. I don't know what the real word is for it. It was just so unlucky in the first round, landed. And but that's nothing to what I've seen in Magaluf. Not saying he got beat up, because he never. So we're in this bar, I can't remember what it was. It was it might be in the Red Line or something like that. Was it Red Line? Or was that Bendam?
It's Bendam, isn't it?
What's the other one? In Magaluf. Anyways, so we're in Magaluf, and next minute, it was dead crowded on the dance floor, and it just felt like it was just loads of men.
Right.
And next minute, I just remember kind of blacking out a bit and going against the bar. And when I've opened my eyes, one of our mates was on the floor. Someone else was like up against the bar. We'd all been clattered at the same time, so it was all pre-organised.
Right.
So
A load of people just set about you.
Yeah, we'd all. I think I'd only took one shot because I remember just going back like that, and I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" Opened my eyes, and then everything just spreaded. There was no one there at this point. It was just us all like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" So we goes outside, and one of our mates was actually quite hurt a little bit. So we took him out, trying to sort him out, and it was like on a little bit of a bank. There was a load of men at the top of this bank. I looked, I went, "Oh my God." Right, they all look a bit like football hooligan type of men. They all like older blokes with like fucking Paul and Shark and Stone Hound and that.
Yeah.
They're all like giving it all the hooligan dance at the top, like doing that. Yeah. So Cameron just went, "Wow, rip his top off! Come on!" I was like, "No." So anyway, one man comes sprinting down the hill. So the men are coming towards Cameron, and one comes at him. Obviously not realising he's an MMA fighter, goes to take a swing at him. But now Cameron, because obviously Cameron's looking up the hill, he's more like planted into the ground. So he just comes under this man, lifts him in the air, bang, drops him on his head. Next one comes at Cameron, but they're all coming one by one rather than as a full group.
Right.
They're all taking turns. So now Cameron has a pile of men in front of him. I wasn't the last person, but the last one to run down at him came. Cameron drops him on his head, and then I think Cameron must have just been so angry. He just got on top of him and just started praying fuck out of him. And even the bouncers were cheating Cameron on.
Yes.
And then this man just come running down the hill. At this point, where there's loads of commotion and pushing around and stuff. And then there was our mate who was like fucking proper hurt, and we're trying to get him sorted.
Yeah.
Because didn't know what was going on because he was unconscious. So this man just runs up, full speed down the hill, and boom, boots Cameron in the head. I went, "Oh no!" I went, "He's dead." Cameron just stood up like and went, "Rah." Ran towards him, picks him up, boom, puts him on his head, and he must have done about 8 of them, easy.
Cameron versus Magaluf.
Well, it was that kick in the head is when I realised Cameron could fight.
Yeah.
It was that kick in the head, when he got kicked in the head, and it didn't budge him, he just went, he said something like, "What do you think you're doing?" or "What the fuck are you doing?" And then just grabbed hold of the man and just tipped him upside down, slammed him in his head. I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious, what's going on here?"
Never. What a warrior.
Paul.
Yeah, and then that's when, because before that, we used to wind Cameron up, and we used to say, you do all this MMA training, you've never had a fight and all that, and we used to wind him up.
Yeah.
And then when I seen that, I was like, yeah.
Didn't wind him up again, did you?
Funny enough, we all stopped winding him up.
Yeah. Knock that one on the head, yeah.
So
Yeah, I've seen some of his...
Coming hardy for you. He's the nicest person in the world. He doesn't cause trouble with no one, doesn't do nothing.
No, he seems
so
nice.
soft,
Seems
hearted.
Yeah.
What was that all over? Do you know? Did they just set out on you for some reason?
We don't know. I can't remember. It wasn't... I just remember getting hit and going back to the bar, and I didn't realise it being hit until I'd hit the bar, and I was like, "Fuck me, where's everyone gone?"
It's just drunk Magaluf argy-bargy.
Cameron was on his ass at this point. Cameron was on his ass. Another lad was laid out. And then I seen just Cameron get up. We all just went outside, and that's when it all happened. And Cameron just went through them all within a few minutes.
Some boy, shout out Cameron. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you about the American stuff, the United States of America and that. For those, I know you've mentioned it on the podcast before, but how did it happen? How did this begin then? When did you decide, right, we're going to go to America?
The best words are possible. When you've been in business for a long time and you've made a change to the industry that you're in, because we have made a massive change, because all the beds that we've changed the industry in terms of the bed styles. Before we came along, you couldn't get the beds that we're doing now.
Right.
No.
You get a lot of companies copy us and make cheaper versions and all that. But when you've been in business for so long, and you've met so many people, and you've got a huge network, opportunities come.
Of course.
And we had the opportunity to go to America.
Right. What was
And
the
it was
opportunity?
in 2 years in the making.
Or can it not be shared?
Yeah,
Shared.
can't be shared.
Got
Can be
you.
shared later in life.
Yeah,
It's a
get
very
you.
inspirational story, but the shortest way to put it, we just had the opportunity to sell in America.
Right. And you took it.
We mentioned it on Ross's podcast a couple of years ago because it was like then where the opportunity it kind of come around, but we knew it was going to be like long-winded until we actually got to get in terms of start selling and start taking orders over there. We've done everything properly, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't just buy from a company in the UK. They're buying from they're buying from us in the UK, but we actually set up over there as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. Because to a divvy like me, I'm thinking, well, are they putting their beds on a boat? You know, like, is that
so
what's
we
happening?
do ship the beds over
Huh. See,
at the minute.
wouldn't it make more sense to look at me giving you business advice? Wouldn't you get them made there?
Yes, but if we'd have set everything up there, manufacturers, or found a supplier, or whatever, or set our own manufacturers up, and then we launched and nothing happened, it'd be like,
Oh yeah, waste of money.
right.
Yeah, you
Whereas
put
at
something out of
least
pocket.
the operation over here is already happening.
But doesn't the transport to the USA really put your price up?
Yeah, that's why the price is a lot higher
Right.
in America.
What is all beds just a lot higher?
All beds in America are a lot higher, yeah.
Really?
So it helps us in terms of the prices, having to put the prices higher because of obviously the shipping and everything. Put price of beds over there, beds that aren't even like ours, that are nothing like ours.
Right.
Cheap beds are very expensive.
Right.
Things over there are an absolute fortune.
So our beds are actually quite cheap
Really?
in America. Yeah.
So even though you pay for the transport and all the extra things you've got to pay for that, say, for example, someone who's manufacturing in America doesn't have to pay for, you're still able to go over there and be competitive price-wise in their market sort of thing.
Yeah, but there's no one is doing our beds over there.
Your designs sort of thing.
Yeah,
The
no one's
style
doing
of
our
your beds.
designs. No one's doing like the market that we're in. High end luxury beds.
The luxury bed market.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a big plus point because we haven't gone over there with any competition. Which doesn't mean to say we're not going to have any competition.
That sounds like a proper run. Like it almost seems like my brain doesn't want to compute it. Like you've gone to America,
So
and
this is
there's
the
no
thing, right?
competition.
Yeah.
So
It
the way
just
you're putting
sounds
it there,
Like eh?
to us, when I was saying to you, like, oh yeah, we're going to America at the end of the month and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just normal. That's
Yeah.
just like feels normal to us. But don't get me wrong, there is moments where I sit back and be like, wow, America.
How has this happened?
Yeah. But like when we're just talking about it now, and you can't get your head around it, to us it just feels normal. Because we've been doing it for that long. America is just it's just more clients just in a different part of the world.
At the next stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We do have a particularly different outlook on things, though, don't we? Like,
Yeah.
what were we saying to someone the other day? Oh, we're just nipping to, and like how
So I said I
someone
was
would say
nipping
like,
to
I'm nipping to
Liverpool.
the corner shop.
nipping to Liverpool, which to me was nipping to Liverpool, actually. I don't think you mind me saying this. He wouldn't anyway. He's a very, very down-to-earth man. I was going to Tony Bellew's, and so I said to someone, I just need to nip to Liverpool. Like, nipping to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like you're not nipping to say.
So, yeah, I just need to pop there and pop back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that not
Yeah,
nipping to
that's
Liverpool?
to me, that's not a nip. No, that's a day trip. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
Well, it is
to
a
me,
day trip.
That's like we're just nipping there. That's taking up like a half or a third of the day. Like we're just nipping
Yeah, it's
there.
I suppose perspective, isn't it? To you, that is a nip. You know?
Yeah.
I suppose when you're going as far as Houston, Liverpool is a nip.
We
Do you know what I mean?
we didn't really realise it until someone said like,
Yeah, someone said, like,
That's
you're not
not
nipping
nipping.
to Liverpool.
That's a
I went,
that's a
yeah, I
day
just
trip.
need to nip down there, go there for however long, an hour or so, and then come back.
I guess with the way you have operated for the past however many years, this up and down the country, travelling.
Yeah,
I
so
guess,
like going to America and that is it's just the same as what we've always done, but just a bit.
It's a
we
bit
just need to
further.
get a flight over there. That's why, like, when I'm saying to you about driving, yeah, that's a long drive. No, we've done loads of driving all our life.
Yeah, yeah. It's what you do. Or it's what you have done. Yeah.
So, like, when we first started doing America, we actually start doing our like own trips over there. I was like, yeah, well, we'll drive to there, drive to there, drive to there. And we're like, well, especially Joe's like, that big road trip and that. But like, why are we driving? Oh, what about internal flights and stuff? Which we did actually. The last time we were there, we did do one internal flight. I don't know. But everything I've done in this business is just to do with driving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the norm, isn't it, really, for you? I suppose. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I guess it's just a bit.
but and on the other side of it is, I'm in America. If I'm there for business, if I'm able to drive, why sit on a flight to the next place when there's so many nice views and places to drive through and places
Yeah,
to
I
see?
suppose. Yeah, it makes sense, really.
yeah.
But that's probably one way you're different to a lot of people, because your perspective on like distances is completely different to other people.
Yeah.
But then equally, like all these scenarios that you're putting in like the celebrity sort of scene, used to just seem like two really genuine Darlow lads still.
Yeah, so-
how do you like not let that lifestyle change you? Because you, as far as I know, meeting you today, 2 hours talking, seem like nice, genuine Darlow lads. How is that like not change you, that lifestyle?
So for me, like, I just think like even when we were like at Tyson Fury's house, we were just at Tyson Fury's house. Like he is just a human being.
Yeah, we
And
just
then like
we
off the
just
back
nipped there,
of
didn't
going
we?
there, don't get me wrong, we like loads of people were like on us like, what's he like? Oh my god, Tyson! Everyone loves him.
Yeah.
I would say, well, it's just Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
You're not starstruck in anywhere?
I don't know. Yes, I suppose I was because I'm a massive fan of him. But
I think we get a lot of
I
that on the
wasn't
way
like
down.
I didn't get any signed gloves. I did get signed gloves off him, but I got them all named for like my nephews and that, and like a couple of my mates as kids, like lads, mates who've got like little boys. But yeah, I've got photos with him. Obviously, it's all part of my journey. Do you know what I mean? Show me grandkids. It's like my granddad said to me, "Oh, look, there's me, Muhammad Ali." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, if my granddad had said that to me, I'd be like, "Oh my god, fucking hell!"
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how my grandkids will react.
Yeah, they will.
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony Bellew walked in the showroom one day. Don't get me wrong, I was a little bit starstruck because,
He just walked in.
yeah, he just walked in with his wife.
What, you didn't know he was coming?
Nope.
No way.
And then obviously got to him and that.
Did
Got
you know
his
it was him
number,
straight
we're
away?
Buddies now, do you know what I mean?
No way.
No, we're not buddies, but I've got his number.
Ever.
Yeah, and then I was down at his house a couple of weeks ago because he wants like more beds. He's getting a cinema room done and that. So it's all business, but
Of course.
I mean, you're meeting some of the best people in the world.
Hey, it's hell of a connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
He's a really, really, really nice man.
He
as well.
is, honestly,
Probably one
how
of the,
nice was Tony Bellew?
Probably one of the nicest I've met.
Do you know the years
Callum wasn't like starstruck, like, oh my God, we've just been in Tony Bellew's house. Callum come out and he was like, he's probably the nicest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
someone you would look
Celebrity.
forward to going for a pint with on a Wednesday. Like,
Callum,
Yeah.
well,
you
Callum
just
come
enjoy
out,
being in his
Callum was
company.
like, I would go for a pint with him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's solid.
I've followed him a lot over the years on boxing interviews. When he was a boxer, and now he's not a boxer anymore. And like you say, I can see that. Like he seems, the way he talks about his family, the way he talks about people, he seems like probably
so soft natured, isn't he?
proper stand up guy as well. Like he seems like whatever the word is.
I bet he doesn't take no shit.
Oh, you wouldn't want to. Yeah, you
Does
wouldn't
he?
want to wind him up.
No.
Like
I think I quite like that. If you were having a conversation with him, like he rather than just letting you finish speaking, then say, "And what I would like is like if you're having a conversation with him, he'd then start asking you about things and show like an actual genuine interest behind it.
interest.
He
Yeah.
And then
shows
all of a
genuine
sudden you
interest.
find out you're having an actual
Like he
conversation
was
with
asking
him.
about the luxury bed company, and he asks about things, and he's not just all about himself. But that's what we found without being horrible, because I've met some really good, I've made some really good friendships over the years. But the odd ones who've just been what the stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like
then when you get
superstars.
people like Tony Bellew, and like people who is just a proper celebrity,
Yeah.
they're the ones who are fucking like sound as fuck. Not saying others aren't, because others are. Do you know what I mean?
But some aren't.
But some do. Some just are just different. But yeah, you normally find it with the ones who are properly proper celebrities.
I wonder what that is. Why some people do if they get fame and power and money and whatever, it changes them. And I wonder why some people don't. Like Tony Bellew, for example. I bet he's the same bloke.
Tell you for why.
If he was working in a warehouse, he'd be the same bloke.
1,000,000%.
Because people like Tony Bellew, like if you'll maybe seen an I'm a Celebrity when he was saying when he won a world title, he wasn't financially secure.
I have heard
So
this.
he's probably had struggles during his life. I can't speak on behalf of him, but you can see he's had to fight, literally fight, for what he's got today, and he's had to put his graft in for it.
Yeah.
So that's what probably makes him very humble.
I think I
You know
heard him
what I mean?
say he didn't properly get settled till the David Hay fight.
David Hay,
which
and then
was like the back end of his career.
And then I think the Usyk fight, from what he said on either on a podcast or Celebrity, then the Usyk fight doubled the David Hay fight, and so on. But same as Tyson Fury, like he's done loads of nice things for people, and like he's had to graft and literally fight for where he's at today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's maybe where it comes from. People who had to actually go through the hard times to get what they've got and be like, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
And I
hard
also
times humble
won't
you.
Yeah.
treat people in a different way because I know what it's like to be. What's the word I'm looking for? People who've gone through hard times or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I do know what you mean. Yeah.
There's one more I need to mention though, because this is a beauty. You'd never guess it.
Go on.
Because I know we're going to jump onto America. In terms of icons, I think that this person's an icon, right?
Right.
We did ask their permission if we could mention them. I said, yeah, no problem. Do you remember Cascada?
Cascada. The music.
Like Clubland and stuff.
Yeah.
No, you're 1,000,000%
Every
right.
time we touch.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
She's had a better fuzz and she's German.
No
she
way.
lives in Germany.
Never. That's a blast from the past. Cascada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Cascada. And I don't know if Cascada was an actual group or her name was Cascada, but her name's Nat or Natalie.
Right.
Or whatever. Cascada?
Yeah.
Is he getting it up?
How did
Again,
that-
really, really nice, to be fair.
How did you come across? Did she just reach out?
She just reached out during lockdown, actually.
Right.
She wanted to buy a bed.
To
So-
send it to Germany.
To send it to Germany.
Right.
She sorted the courier out and everything.
Yeah.
So I said, if I can hire a van, I'm going to bring the bed directly to you. One, I'll get a road trip out of it, and two, I'll get to meet Cascada.
Yeah.
For me, I think she's a massive icon.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
So I thought, brilliant. But during COVID, 2020,
God.
yeah, during
That's
COVID,
nice.
2020, no hire van company would let me take a van out of the UK across Europe. So I missed out on that.
Right.
She
She didn't go over in the end.
No, she's a proper icon, her though, isn't she?
Of course, man.
Do you remember?
Every nightclub you go into, she's
Yeah,
on.
oh,
She's
She just
every
played, she
single
played at
nightclub.
Newcastle last week. 'cause
Like
they
a
had a
household
household
name,
night on.
isn't she?
Yeah,
When
just
was that song
household.
out?
When was it out? If you go back to All at the top, it should tell you the year it came out.
2006.
2006, yeah.
God. How old was I then?
I'll have been
21, I
13.
was. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so I thought I'd shook her in the mix
God.
purely because I asked her for permission if I could mention her. 'Cause I think she's a massive
Evacuate the
icon.
dance floor as well. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, evacuate the dance floor. That
Yeah.
was like 2010ish, so she was still kicking around. Well, I don't know when it was, but I feel like it was about 2010ish, 2009.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So
Guys, he's a music producer.
Dangerous. Yeah, there's been some.
she's had some good songs.
Oh yeah.
So were you a bit starstruck when you met her? Like,
I didn't meet her.
All
But I
right.
was actually a bit starstruck when she messaged because I was like, this is in 2020.
Jesus
I thought,
Christ,
oh
yeah.
my God. She was in Germany. And then, so she just sorted out her own courier to send it to Germany. But we've had loads of people do that.
He's met some amazing people. You know, if you could name just the ones we've talked about here on this show. I mean, I probably don't know them all. Tyson Fury, Tony Bellew, Cascada, Paul Smith, the comedian.
Paul Smith, the comedian.
Who's the latest snooker player?
Pool player. Gareth Potts, who was with us today.
Gareth Potts, who with you today.
Yeah.
You-
4 times,
Darren
8
Till
ball, pool. Darren Till.
He walked
Darren
into the show.
Till.
He walked into our office once.
He just walked in,
Just walked in. I was in the bar. I was getting my haircut for us.
right?
But I knew we'd had some beds.
And I'm now in the office, slouched.
Darren
With
Till's.
the KFC there. I'm eating the KFC out one hand, and I'm typing with the other. I've seen the door open, I've gone, You would do, wouldn't you? Not like before where I've been sat like that working, right? You'd come in halfway through my dinner with belly hanging out my top.
It just turned up to our office. We didn't have a showroom then. It was just like an office.
Yeah.
Just like this, just in a building. I got a phone call. Darren Tills just turned up to the office. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. I thought something's happened to his beds or something. I thought he's here to kick me in or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I turned up and he was just sound. He was like, oh, I was just bored. So I just popped. I'd thought I'd have a drive through, see what the luxury bed company's all about.
Never. That's awesome, that. The people are just...
He was bored, so he had to drive.
That's
down.
awesome, that, innit?
That was his words to me on the day. I was like, how come you...
Like...
you just thought I'd come and see what you're all about.
Like, same with the Tony Bellew story. I think, do you know what, like... Look, he lives in Liverpool, right? There will be decent bed companies where he lives. But he's got in his car and he's drove all the way, 2.5 hours, 3 hours to Darlington.
It's the wives that, though, you know.
Do you think?
Yeah, of course.
100% it is.
Of course it is. Think Paul Smith bothered about a big flash bed?
No.
No.
I don't imagine Tony Bellew was neither.
I know that because Tony Bellew's... I think Meg had spoke to Tony Bellew's wife quite a bit. I think... Then we only realised, obviously, once he'd been,
right?
That's Meg was like, I've been speaking to her on Instagram. So yeah, a lot of it's to do with the wives.
So she said, Tony would drive.
Take me to this bed company in Dalton.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And then Tony Bellew got to meet the bedman.
There you go. That's how it's happened. So the USA venture. Or the takeover is probably what it is.
Well, we are going to try and take over because I've always said I'll take over the world, but we'll see.
How long have you been doing it now? 2 years over there? 3 years?
No, we only launched in September.
Oh, is it that recent?
Yeah,
yes.
It's not been...
So it's been it was like 2 years in the making.
Right.
But we launched, so we went over February 2023, delivered a couple of beds, done a road trip.
Right.
Got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Done a couple of collaborations with some home accounts. But in the meantime, it was all still happening.
Right.
And then September, it was like, boom, website live now.
Never.
Yeah.
So you put a website live over there. Is that right? Yeah.
But the demand was there for America. So it wasn't just like the opportunity came around and like, right, we can start selling beds in America.
Right.
The demand was there. We used to get they used to give us shit for not selling to America.
For like frequent requests of...
So people were asking all the time.
But giving us grief for not selling in America. And we're like, what do you mean? Like, we're a UK company.
Yeah. Leave us alone.
Yeah, and then the opportunity come and was like, yeah, we've got quite a lot of American followers anyway, organically. Yeah. Then we've done some collaborations over there with some home accounts stuff, home material accounts, a couple of influencers, and then we're just gonna kind of just mix it up and just.
Have you noticed any, or is there any like standout immediate differences between the UK bed market and the US bed market? Is there anything that you've noticed that, like, hang on, we haven't experienced this before, this is different, or is it just business as usual, exactly the same?
Callum will tell you, it depends which I can tell you from my side, and Callum can tell you from his side. Callum's more customer service.
Yeah,
I've actually went over there and dealt with people myself.
So like on the phone, the first immediate standout difference is on the phone. They don't, like, goodbye is not a thing over there.
Huh?
So you'll be halfway through a conversation and then you'll be like, is there anything else I can help you with? And people say like, all right, have a lovely day. And you put the phone down for like an English person, yeah?
Yeah.
They'll literally get the information from you and then you'll go, right, okay. Then.
And they've gone.
So
what's the other thing they said?
For the first bit of it, I was like, right, well, I'm supposed to piss them off somehow. And then third or fourth, like, call in, I was like, no, everyone's putting the phone down on me. So I thought, I'm definitely not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything different. It's just what they do. They just don't say goodbye. They just put the phone down. So once they've got the information out you that they need,
but there is some of them do say a certain thing at the end.
But some of them will go a little bit quiet and they'll go, appreciate you.
What about God?
Oh yeah, God loves you. And you'll go,
say God loves you, and I put the phone down.
It gets a little bit awkward, but if you don't expect it, you go, you too?
Yeah. God loves you too.
Yeah.
Where do you put yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've had a few, you end up half beating them to it, and then they warm to you a bit more because they feel like you're on their level a bit more.
You should beat them and put the phone down. You know, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm fascinated.
That is a new one though, isn't it?
Yeah. So there is little quirks to adjust to.
Because you know when you say bye to your mate, you just like say bye, ta-ra, see you in a bit. You say like a load of different things that mean bye.
Yeah.
Or
100%.
goodbye. Before you put the phone down.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, go on then, see you later on, bye, yeah, ta-ra.
Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 buys, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then the phone goes down.
Yeah.
And then as you put the phone down, yeah, bye. Where's they just put the phone down.
I used to have a granddad like that when he was alive. He used to always do that, and you'd never know the phone call had finished, you know, and you'd be talking away, and you'd be your granddad, and he gone. He finished what you had to say. You know what I mean? He told you the information, and that was the end
I
of
love
it.
people like that.
I do.
Because they're just like, there's no
bells and whistles.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just-
Do you know what I mean?
That's
No
it.
filters, it's just,
Yeah.
right, we're done now, see you later on.
There's a famous story in my family, and my mum will love me telling it, but I will tell you, just to paint you a picture of how mental my granddad was, or how much he was like this. There was, picture the scene. My mum was a young lady, and she'd been to her granddad's house, my great granddad's house, right?
Yeah.
They'd seen each other. My mum was going to town, right? My granddad happened to be going to town as well. So they'd seen each other. 2 hours later, they're in Darlington town centre. They're not together. Granddad had gone off and done his day. Mum had gone off and done her day. Mum's walking down High Row, and she sees approaching her from the other direction, Grandad. And, there's me Grandad. And she's walked up to thingy, and she stopped. And my Grandad has just gone straight past her. And my mum's like, turned round and said, Grandad? And Grandad had turned round and went, yeah? And she said...
He doesn't talk to me.
And he said, I've just seen you. I've got nothing to say to you. I'll see you later. You know, and that to him it was so odd that she would want to stop and say hello. Like,
Yeah, what do you want to give me the nod
what are you
for?
talking about? You know, we've just talked, and I'm going to see you later. And you know, my mum always remembers that thing, and that's you know, maybe my granddad was American. You know, yeah, maybe. So what have you noticed?
What, in terms of Americans?
Yeah, what's different?
Everything's so much more exaggerated with them. The energy, I'm not saying it's nothing bad towards the UK, but
No.
just the Americans are so much more like, I don't know whether it's because you're British, so they're just like, they're so happy. Everything's just like, there seems to be a problem.
Right.
And they're so helpful. I don't know, it's just like everything's so much more exaggerated, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean that's not even being offensive to America. That's just it. They're over the top. They're
Super
Another thing I've
exaggerated,
noticed actually, when I've been there, so like say you're waiting to get served at a reception,
right.
and I'm happen to talking to you, but the receptionist now needs your attention because you're next. Like he'll give her his attention as if to say, "Oh yeah, can I?" Then he'll go, "Sorry, sir," as if to say like, Do you know what I mean? Like, say, sorry, sir, and then get on with what he has to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Like, yeah, they're so nice that way.
Are they?
Well, the ones I've met anyway.
I always thought that we would be the more polite.
Seems to be going. I know what you mean. Seems to be going full circle.
Do you think?
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
though, just little things like that, just like little things in their, like, their mannerism is just like, oh, sorry, sir, I'm, you know, like, they don't say, oh, sorry, sir, I just need to do this. They just say, like, oh, excuse me, sir. And then it's a nice way of saying, like, I'm going to have to stop talking to you now.
yeah. I'll
But
just
like,
stop you there.
in the nicest possible way,
Yeah.
I would say.
So has there been any more differences apart from those two things? Is there anything that stands out?
They're overly excited about our beds.
Really?
Yes. Because they've never seen them before.
Right.
They've never seen anything like our beds before in their
So you
life.
really are bringing something new to their market.
Yes.
sort of thing.
Like a completely foreign object.
That's mad. Like a country like that is as advanced as the United States of America.
huge.
You would think like to an unknown like me, if you said to me, right, Dan, who's going to have? I'd say, well, the Americans. I'll be miles ahead of us.
Yeah.
But it's not. That isn't the case.
It's almost like, you know, when people say like, "Oh, come up with an invention now," and people
Yeah.
go like, if you can think it, 99% of the time it'll be on the internet.
Pretty much.
Oh, the Americans
It's-
probably done it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a new invention because there is literally nothing over there that's remotely similar and nowhere near the
That's-
products that we're supplying.
That's insane. I mean, if you don't mind me saying, you must be licking your chops. You must be thinking like, "Phew, like we're gonna mop up here. Like we did all right in England. Like, phew, just you wait till we get over here." Like,
I'd love to just do America full time. I would never like let go of England. No way. Because
I would.
but dare to dream, right? Dare to dream. England have, come on, Dan, help me out, Southpaw. England have how many people? Look, look to save it.
America's got 380 million people.
Yeah,
And we don't have that.
England's about 70. So,
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Imagine selling.
Like,
So you're about 4 times the amount, aren't you, roughly?
and some
Imagine
change.
selling to 1% of America.
Yeah.
What's that? 3.8?
360,000 then.
No.
No, 3.8.
Sorry, yeah, 3.8 million.
3.8
Yeah.
million, yeah.
So okay then.
1%.
Imagine selling to 0.5% of America.
Yeah. I mean, silly numbers.
Still silly numbers.
Silly numbers. Yeah, and that's not even
But
like.
we're there to sell to the whole of America, which we're never going to. Not every
why
single
ne-
individual in America is going to buy a bed.
Right, I thought you meant
Not-
I thought you meant locations.
No, well, we only do to like. There's 52 states.
I think there's only 5 or 6 we don't cover.
There's only 5 or 6 not covered, but there's like deserted areas.
Hawaii,
Right.
Alaska.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like we sell in America, so we have the ability to be able to. Well, we don't, but like. If every single person was to buy, that'd be 380 million people, but every single individual isn't going to buy. So just anything in between would be nice.
Why do you think that is, that they're like quite far behind bed-wise? Because, I mean, one thing people say about America is like they do everything bigger and better.
Yeah.
So,
that's
like,
what they say.
Everything over there is Chinese imports.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
That's so strange that they've done that. I mean, to be fair, like, if you think like they are America who they are, their cars are pretty naff
Right. Well, this is another thing I always say.
compared to the Germans and stuff like that.
A Range
You know what I
Rover Sport over there on the motorway looks like what are them Kias called? The Kia Sportage.
mean? Yeah.
Like a bit of a 4x40 thing, but it's not massive. They look small. A Range Rover Sport and a Defender look small. So we had this big Cadillac thing, and when we were passing Range Rover Sports, they looked tiny.
Yeah. Everything bigger, bolder.
Yeah. Oh, like the trucks are massive.
What the Ford F50 trucks, aren't they? Them
yeah,
big,
they're
massive.
a lot of big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big Ford trucks. Obviously, Ford's American anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like that, we've been given the Shan Fords. They've got
Shan
the
Fords.
Fords
We've
over
been
there.
given the dregs, haven't we?
Yeah.
The Fords over there are unbelievable. They're massive.
Yeah. I guess similarly, to the bed thing, like it isn't necessarily the case that America are just bigger and better at everything, because if you really look at America, there are things that, yes, they are bigger, not necessarily better.
No.
And
They're not good at football.
they're not good at football,
soccer.
as they would call it. No, but yeah, when
No
did
offense,
you?
by the way, to our American followers. We're not. That's not offensive. We're just stating facts.
It's fact.
Yeah.
At what point did you click on about this lack of bed situation in the USA? Was it as you got there or before you got there?
We just started doing the research before we went live with the website. Like,
Right.
let's do a bit of research now.
yeah,
We're already too deep in.
Best look into this.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah, and
them.
then just
We
yeah.
need deep and thought maybe we need to look into this really a little bit more.
Yeah, and then no, it's all. Don't get me wrong. There will be people out there making bespoke beds and stuff. I think you
course.
get a few people on Etsy. There was a man in his garden making some beds and that, big bespoke beds and that. But
Right.
might take him 2 or 3 days to make one. I don't know. I can't really say, but no big companies over there doing what we're doing.
So, Corey, you did touch on it, the transportation of the beds. Like, do you mind sharing how that happens at the moment? What's the process? Somebody buys on the American website
Somebody buys.
and it gets made here,
Every time we fill a container, it goes on the container.
right?
Container gets shipped over. Lands with the logistics, third party logistics, and then they dish them out.
When somebody in America buys, do they have like a time frame of how long the bed's going to be delivered, or is it just a rough estimate?
So yeah, it's 12. What is it? 12 to 16 weeks.
12 to 16 weeks, yeah.
But we're only new in America, so that'll come down by like when we're manufacturing over there. What will it be? 4 to 6 weeks, maybe.
4 to 6 weeks. yeah.
What does the transition to that look like then? So this is how you're doing it now with the containers and the shipping
Well,
them
we
over.
were hoping to be able to start manufacturing over there this year, but
So what will the steps be to get to that state where you're manufacturing over there, what would need to happen?
We need to get a premises to start with,
A warehouse?
workers,
Workers.
or team up with a factory over there. We don't know yet. But the plan is to manufacture over there.
That's the plan. But you haven't quite pieced together what
No,
route
we
you
need-
take yet.
Not
We
just
need
yet.
to-
There's a lot of things to round off. Like there's a lot of sort of customer experience that can be had just yet in terms of, you're still finding your feet with customers. Like, how do they like to be communicated with? Are they more email based? Are they more telephone based? How do they want samples of fabrics and now, or are they not really that bothered? So there's still like a lot of learning to do on the customer base as a general
And
whole
firstly, we're going to open an office over there
to tailor everything else around that.
before we obviously set up manufacturing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, but everything's going smoothly. The only other thing is the shipping times, but everything's running smoothly.
To be fair, like when you buy like beds and sofas, like from my vague experience, it takes ages. It takes that sort of long to get beds and things. I think I bought a sofa off DFS, years ago. I think it took 6 months, 4 or 6 months to come to us. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
there's companies who copy our beds in the UK, yeah? You've maybe seen them on Instagram. You see them all over. There's loads of companies copy us.
Yeah, I've seen you mention it.
Their delivery times are a lot less than ours.
Right.
But the thing is, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of our beds, the headboards are all individual panels,
Right.
whereas these other companies will copy the style, but I can do this. Slides to foam, and then the fabric gets pushed into the grooves of the foam.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you
Whereas
mean.
ours are all individual panels.
Right.
So the quality is always better. The fabric's not going to come out and move and crease.
No, because they're
Do you know what I
individual
mean?
things.
You can
And
have
that's time
amateur
taken as
upholstery or
well.
professional.
But I don't want to come away from that because I want to sell top quality.
Yeah.
So delivery times are a little bit longer, and then there's a demand on top of it.
Yeah, this
So,
is it. Yeah, like you say, you could jump on that bandwagon and start knocking together some slapdash thing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
And have it done in 3 weeks. So you're there in 3 weeks. But
You can turf shite out in a week, perfect, no problem.
what's that going to do for you? You know what I mean?
But
You
do
just
you
end
say-
up being another budget
Roll a
bed
turd in glitter.
yeah, you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter.
Can't polish a turd and roll it in glitter.
It's true. Like,
Yeah, there's a reason you're called the luxury bed company, isn't there?
Thank you.
That's right. You've got to live up to the name of it. You can't be selling crap.
Our
and
delivery
putting
times are quite long. What is it in the UK? 8 to 10 week?
8 to 10 week, yeah.
But
It's bespoke.
it's 8 to 10 week. It's 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you expect. As far as I'm
Course.
concerned, that's what you expect for a bed, a sofa, or something like that. That's
For
how
something
we-
that's bespoke and made to order, I think
Of course.
it's more than reasonable.
But I think, like you say, it's all in the name. He's just said there.
And every customer's order is different as well, you know.
In what way?
Like, not every order's the same.
Oh, of course.
So every customer has a different headboard height. Some customers extend the width of the headboard. Colour and fabric's always different. Do you know what I mean? They're not bought in, stacked up on the shelf and then go out. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't pick it off the shelf and give you it.
No.
They're all bespoke. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think quality over quantity. I think that's the way. It evidently is working for you.
because there was a time, like you say, when we were getting wagons in after wagons, and we were doing big numbers in terms of quantity of beds. But then when we started selling more high-end beds
Yeah.
and more quality, it was more controllable.
Is there ever a temptation to like sway the other way? So obviously now you've got the success, you got the brand, you know what I mean? People are buying off you, they know you are, they trust you. Obviously, like as manufacturers of beds, yous must be aware, as you've just said, like if you wanted to say, like, pardon the expression, fuck off your quality, you must be aware that there's ways you could make your beds like loads cheaper, slapdashy sort of
We
thing.
can make our beds loads cheaper and wipe everyone out the water.
Are you never
All
tempted?
these little companies who copy our bed designs but make them in a cheap way.
Are you never
Of course we
tempted to
could.
jump on it?
I think it'd be short-lived. I think people wouldn't like it.
I love what we have.
People feel like they've been duped.
And I have full confidence in every bed that goes out. Don't get me wrong, all businesses have problems.
Of course.
Not everything goes according to plan.
No.
Things happen, do you know what I mean? Some customers may not have measured up right and then the bed doesn't fit. Things happen, but it's only things that can be solved. Do you know what I mean? But I wouldn't want to go. I love what we do. Our quality's unbelievable, and yeah.
What's the goal for America? What's the goal? Like, where's this going to go? What dream? Like, what do you see it? You know, if you can dream, where do you see it?
Being the biggest bed company in America. Done it in England. Why can't I do it in America?
Well said.
I can see myself going over there in years to come.
Would you live there?
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
People ask me, would I
I've got
live there? Like, it's a serious question, that, you know. Would I live there? Maybe it's all later in my life, but if I had the opportunity to live there now, I'd have a home there. So, like, I'd have a house there. Do you know what I mean? And then, I'm from the UK. You know what I mean? Got family and friends
You
in
got
the
roots
UK.
here. Yeah.
Got roots here. So, yeah, but the plan is to have a home in America. While I'm there, I've got a house to go to or an apartment or whatever.
By the sounds of what you're saying, Callum,
But-
you're ready to go now and stay there. You know,
Callum would.
I'd have him drop me off at the airport now.
simple as that.
But
Not coming back.
Yeah. I wouldn't look
eventually,
twice
later in
anyway.
life, who knows?
But-
It
but-
might be that big and that busy, have to be in America. Sorry, but this is
Yeah.
where it's going to be.
I mean, if things go to plan, you should be making by the numbers. You could potentially be making 6 or 7 times more in America than you could in England.
Oh,
if you
100%.
get a replica of the success, and then you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, like my
If
biggest.
it was that busy where we had to be there all the time, it would make sense to practically live there and then you come home for older.
Yeah,
But listen,
but with the 2 years, it could work well because you're happy to root there full time anyway.
I genuinely would go right now.
yeah, Callum, wash me bed and I'm on my way. Have you got any of them skin tight tops, Callum? Because we're going out when we get there.
Hey, I bet there could be some awesome road trips in America if you did some drop offs.
Well, we actually we drove from Houston to Las Vegas,
Wow.
and we drove through all the
1,427 miles.
seasons because it was February. We drove through rain, ice, severe weather warnings. So we had to keep pulling over because our van kept freezing up. The windscreen kept freezing up. There was like big, massive, like loads of ice coming off the wheels.
Yes, they get what's called a frost. It's not rain, it's not snow. Shit just freezes.
Like,
Right.
yeah, everything just freezes.
I didn't think you'd get it that
And then
south.
as we got more towards Albuquerque and that, it was absolutely red hot. We had our tops off in the van driving down the road. It was mental. You couldn't write it.
All on the same trip.
All the
Oh,
same.
yeah,
What was it?
like
Was
melting the ice off the van and that.
24 hours driving.
That's mad.
1,427 miles, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what we done is we drove from Houston. We stopped off in Amarillo. This is the way to Amarillo. We stopped off there. We didn't get there till late, so we literally just stopped, slept, got up next day and started driving. Then we stopped in. It was quite sunny all the way to Flagship.
Flagstaff.
Flagship. What am I going Flagship? I think the nightclub in Blackpool. Flagstaff. Sorry, stopped in Flagstaff. Flagstaff was like snow up to here, but the building was all like dead old, and that it was almost like something off like
You're gonna
Jack
think I'm-
Frost or something.
Yeah. You're gonna think I'm mental, but it was almost like a cross between Dublin and Switzerland.
Yes.
Like it was.
Never.
Flagstaff
Yeah,
was
it was
Dublin.
unbelievable.
I can't picture it.
So
Dublin and
it was
Switzerland.
almost like Irish pubs and chalets with snow around.
What?
It was
Yeah,
nice,
it was,
proper like nice town and that. Thank you. I'll tell you what, I've done a few of them tonight. So we stayed in Flagstaff, and then we got up the next day. So me and Callum went for a steak in Flagstaff. We didn't get there till late again because we were just powering through. Joe actually went and stayed at a Buddhist temple, a Buddhist temple or whatever it is. Is it a Buddhist temple? Buddhist centre thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a
proper big,
Buddhist centre,
massive.
yeah, but they did have a temple
So he
outside.
stayed there. We just stayed in a little hotel next to a steakhouse in Flagstaff. Went for food and that. And then next day we got up, picked you up from the Buddhist Centre. We had a little mooch around the Buddhist Centre. What you're on there, type in Flagstaff Buddhist. Flagstaff Bud Buddhist.
A Buddhist.
There you go, mate.
That's where we went. We went to that there. Me and Callum have actually sat on them little blue things there and looked at the.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we
What?
sat there. We've got a photo of us on there.
Never.
So Joe stayed at that, like, they had like little sleeping headquarter things. Like, it was like a little bit of a motel next to it.
That's it.
Looks like China.
And then we got up next day, went there, and then we drove to Grand Canyon.
That's a road trip, innit?
Visited the Grand
Canyon
Canyon.
was mental, wasn't it? It was almost like a green screen.
Yeah, it was like a green screen. So you can't, your brain can't comprehend how far down it goes and how far away it is, and it's almost like you're just looking at a big green screen.
Because you've never seen anything on this scale, your brain's not accepting it.
You're talking
'cause
miles.
you're talking miles of nothing there. So you
see what I mean? Where it's a bit grainy and a bit hazy.
Yeah.
We've actually stood on there. Oh no, we never went on that bit.
Oh, will do. I wouldn't dream of it.
Definitely not.
It's not for me, that, like.
Do you remember when I walked right out on the thing? Like the rock peak.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not for the faint-hearted, that, like. Yeah, just vast, innit? Like,
That's
And
what I
then,
mean. You can't get your head around it.
no.
So like, yeah, when you stood on like the edge of the rocks like that, but you're not, because it's all barriered off and that. So that looks like they're stood on the edge of a rock to a certain degree, maybe. I don't know. There's maybe something else underneath them anyway. You just can't really tell how far down it actually goes and how far it goes on for, because it's obviously a deserted area for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
It does look fake, doesn't it?
It does look
Yeah,
fair
that's
there.
what I mean.
Looks like a movie set.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's insane, isn't it? You know, there's loads of these places like this in America that baffle me. Like, have you heard of like the Yellowstone National Park and that?
No.
The Yellowstone National Park is literally it's a volcano basically. I don't know, like all the ground's hot and they have all these. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you ever get a chance to look into Yellowstone National Park, it's
And then from there we drove to Vegas.
right.
When I set a bed up in Vegas, then it was like it was mean, because it was like, wow, because I'd been to Vegas twice before, previous to this. Went for the Tyson Fury fight and whatnot, so I've been and done Vegas as you would expect. But I was in Vegas and I was like, oh my god, I'm setting a bed up in someone's house in Las Vegas. This is mental.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
How's
I'm in
this happening?
America. I'm in Las Vegas. Someone in Las Vegas has got a luxury bed company bed from me, who started on Gumtree in the UK years ago.
Could you ever imagine that when you were knocking beds up in your dad's place to stick them on Gumtree? Could
Nah,
you ever
I
imagine?
didn't know really where my life was going back then. But then when I started fiddling away and doing what I was doing, I knew, I was like, it's all or nothing. I want to fucking go to the top. I
Madness.
want it all. I want to be the best. I want to be the biggest.
That's some ambition. That's
To be fair, I mean,
I remember
if we
saying to
don't
someone,
if we don't bring a bed model out, nobody does.
oh, I've got
They
a
just
really
wait for
good
us
story
to
for you,
bring
actually.
one out.
So, my dad is super proud of me. He's like unbelievably proud of me. It's mental because he doesn't really show it to me as such, but I hear it from other family members and friends. But he does, because I have said to him, I said, like, are you proud of me? And he's like, yeah. But like he said, so the other day he said, son, do you know you are carrying the furniture trade? The bed trade. He said, you're carrying the bed trade. He said, everyone is doing what you're doing, but nobody's doing anything different. My dad went to a supplier once, and my dad sells cheaper beds than us. So he's got like a different market to us. So there's no clash. But my dad does very well. And he went to a company, and my dad was like a bed supplier, manufacturer. And the man was like, son, I can make you these beds, I can make you these beds, I can make you these beds. And this man was like flicking through our photos. And like moments like that makes me dad like, wow, these are my son's photos. So my dad said, oh yeah. He said, is that the luxury bed company photos? And he went, yeah. We can make you all their beds, And my dad said, you do know that's my son?
Oh no.
But not in a bad way. He just said, that's my son. And he went, what? He went, you're the father of the luxury bed company. My dad said, yeah. And my brother-in-law, married to, he's Kurdish, so he's like Muslim. And he looked and went to me brother-in-law, So he's your brother-in-law? He said, yeah. He's my brother-in-law. I'm married to his sister. He was like, wow. He was like, wow, I've met the luxury bed company's father.
Never.
Yeah.
He's like starstruck.
Yeah, starstruck.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And then
That's right,
another
yeah.
guy said to me, Dad, he said, we are all just waiting for your son to bring a new design out so we can all copy it.
No way. Is that where it's got to?
Yeah.
No way.
That's
Yeah.
what he said to me, Dad. He said, we just wait for your son to bring a new design out and we just copy it.
Huh.
But my dad loves it. He loves the luxury bed company. He loves it.
Well, that is paving the way, then, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
that's what it is. You know, you are leading the way, really.
We're trying.
I mean, you've obviously done it here, and by the sounds of it, you're doing it in America as well. By the sounds of it, like if you're
Yeah.
bringing this lane that doesn't exist over there now, like
Create your own lane.
yeah, I mean, just bringing it back to that question there, like fucking hell, like pardon my language, the possibilities. You must be licking your chops a bit. You must be thinking this. You must be excited about the potential of what could happen.
It's all good. It's all good saying that, but you know yourself as a business owner, even when like stuff like this is going on, you can't help but worry.
Of course,
You're always worrying.
of course, yeah.
Like I've got this far. I don't want to not. Like I don't want to step back, or I don't want to fall down the ladder, because you put your life into it. You put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears. So yeah, there is times where we're like, wow, this is fucking incredible. I can't believe it. But you're always worrying. Well, for me, I am anyway. Always worry. Not like in a bad way. I'm because I love it that much. It's my life. I'm always wanting to progress.
I'm the same. I don't know what it's like to not worry. You know,
You do.
I have no idea.
Do you go to bed at night worrying about stuff that doesn't even exist?
I started worrying when I was 17, I think, and I never stopped worrying since. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, I worry about worrying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I worry, am I worrying too much? Do you know what I mean?
I do.
That's what it is.
You worry that you're worrying too much.
Yeah, yeah. Thinking, am I worrying too much? I'm worried
You
about
don't
that.
drink enough.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's what it is, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we do lick our lips, I suppose, or lick our chops, whatever you say. In the most what's the word? Humble way possible, I suppose.
Are you
We're very grateful for where we're constantly getting to, but yeah,
Are you as obsessed?
I certainly am. Yes, I'm obsessed with luxury bed company, and anyone could tell you that.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my life. Love it.
Why do you, just in one sentence, why do you do what you do?
I don't know. I just love it.
Just
I love
love it.
it.
Just
I just
obsession.
want to. I think for me, it's not like all about the money, but the money helps because the money helps progress, and you can use your money to go further and do other things. But it's about how far can I take this? Do you know what I mean? Like getting bigger and better. Like now, America hopefully is going to help that. And then where else can I go after America? I've already got countries in my head already that I'm thinking about going to.
How's your Japanese?
You are.
How's your Japanese? You know what I mean? Well, look, Australia could be one. You know,
Yeah.
there's one.
One of the ones that I've been thinking about.
I know. I
but
was going to say,
is that warm or
that'd be the first thing you think of, wouldn't it? English-speaking countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's language barriers are going to be something that are worth considering.
Could have done Europe years ago, but it's just the language barriers and all.
Become
everything.
very hard work. I mean,
Yeah, languages.
Because it's not automated. It's not like the buying. It is automated, but it's not like the buying a pair of Nike trainers. We don't have to speak to them or anything like that.
No.
Every customer from us gets a welcome call
Yeah, of course.
where we run through their order with them, make sure it's all correct. Any bespoke changes that they're making gets confirmed on the call there and then. So imagine us having to ring a lot of German people or a lot of Spanish.
Is there, to my understanding, that isn't there like, no, I think it'd be a bit more advanced because you can get like virtual call centers. You know what I mean? You can get them in England where you can pay somebody some money and they'll answer your calls, but it's just like, they don't work for you. They just, you paid them to act like a receptionist.
They're a company that do that for other companies.
But I was thinking in your game it won't work because it isn't just meet and greet. There might be like specifications they're going to, and they're going to have to know about the
People
product and
want to speak
service.
to the people that they're seeing on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what it
People
is. It
want
won't
to
work.
speak to them faces.
But I mean, you could, you've done it in America. How
eventually though, we will have Americans working in an American office.
Yeah,
So
but the same thing could apply in Spain, France, Germany.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, if I was to set up in Spain, I'd just literally employ people who speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Either in the UK or.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Within
reason.
Within reason, yeah.
Yeah. It's possible anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
It's possible.
Definitely.
Yeah, really, there isn't really a place that I can think, other than markets that don't sell. There isn't, to my like view, there isn't really anywhere that's impossible. As long
Well,
as
this is funny. This actually, the other day, a couple came all the way from Iceland
wow,
to buy some beds for their house in Iceland. Yeah,
never.
they're going to ship it over themselves, and they want to open a furniture store in Iceland, and we supply them.
Wowzers,
And I'm going to go to the toilet.
Pretty mental, isn't it?
that's off it. All the way from Reykjavik, and then it's only there, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's exactly where they're from, Reykjavik.
I mean, I don't think there is another town, is there?
No, I don't think that. Well, there's not a lot anyway.
No, Iceland pretty much is Reykjavik, whatever you say. That right
Reykjavik,
spelling.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just while I've got you, Callum, obviously you were saying you're more than keen to go over and live in America.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's tons of positives. We were talking about them before, all these amazing places you can go and see.
Yeah.
Is there any negatives that stand out in your head that like, oh, I'd be worried about that living there? Is there anything in particular that comes to mind?
Just when we hired the van for one of our trips, we got told by one of the people that we went to see. He said, under no circumstances have any road rage at all. And we were like, oh, why? And he went, because they will just open fire.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and a plaque on a restaurant that we went into, and it was like a posh restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like no guns to be on show. You're allowed to carry them, but just don't have like gun belt on and all that.
It's like a racehorse.
But stuff like that's a little bit worrying. But it kind of has its own like self-policing. So
What's this about the gun situation
like,
in America?
I know
Yeah.
you've got a gun. You know I've got a gun. I'm not going to be a dick to you.
I've heard
because-
this that you what you find if you go to Texas, for example, I've heard you'll find some of the nicest people you've ever met. Everyone is so nice and
Texas
so
is really
polite
nice.
because everyone thinks you're going to get their head blown off. Otherwise,
Exactly.
that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know who's got a gun. You know what I mean? Like,
Texas is probably
literally
one of the
everybody
nicest
does.
places,
Yeah.
You're odd if you don't.
But yeah, when we were there was a sign outside saying like something like you're not allowed to have your gun on the show.
And then, like his
I was
missus
like-
said, he doesn't allow me to leave the house or go anywhere without it. She has to carry it at all times. He's like, no, that's the rule in our house is you don't leave without it.
you don't leave without it. Imagine.
But
there's
they're all just like phone, keys, big shooter.
Yeah, like you pick your phone up. Oh, where's my gun at? You know what I mean?
gun?
So
Yeah.
it would worry me in some respects, but in other respects it wouldn't because I'd have one anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Can English people buy a gun over there?
Once you go over there and you get your green card, I think it is, isn't
Is
it?
that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got residency over there, citizenship. So you
Imagine that. A couple of years
the
from
next
now,
thing.
you could be walking cowboy hat,
Bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, big magnum strapped to your side. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, so do you know what? How long have we been running for, Southpaw?
Just coming up to 2.5.
So I've got a few more questions. We've been flying.
How long
yeah.
does an episode normally go
As
for?
long as it needs to, but I think we've got limited time on these cards, right? How long do these cards last?
We're good for cards, to be
Are
fair.
we?
I cleared them before, but yeah, we're normally talking about an hour and a half to 2. So this is
Our podcast was always going to be long though.
yeah.
Yeah, of course it was gonna be.
I already took that
Yeah,
into
we knew
consideration.
that.
Yeah.
Is there any, before we come off America, is there any other bits that we haven't touched on that maybe I've missed?
In terms of America or anything else, or just anything.
Well, both questions, America and anything.
Just get ready, America.
Yeah, America's only just getting started, isn't it? You know what we've been trading there now, September.
I mean,
What's that? 8 or 9 months.
Nout. Yeah. No.
So yeah, it's going well, thankfully. We've got a bed going on display at Grand Designs. I don't imagine this podcast will be out before Grand Designs because Grand Design starts on Saturday.
It won't be out.
No, but anyways, we've got a bed going on like a. Basically, it's going in the show home bit of Grand Designs.
It's going to be on the
So
telly.
we're not exhibiting there. It's like a big show, isn't it? Like a big exhibition.
Right. I know what you mean.
So we're going to have, when you walk in, it's going to be like a bit of a show home, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, blah, blah. So you get to see all real life, like a virtual real life tour of, I don't know, but our bed's going to be in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? The grand designs of
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah.
We've got another American trip coming up, which is going to be incredible. I'm trying to think there's anything else in the past that's good to talk about. Have you got any other questions?
Well, other than, I've got a few other questions, but they're more like round out questions, you know?
What does round out mean?
Or like, why, you know, on your way out of the podcast.
Right,
You know what I
okay.
mean? It
Comes
comes off
forward.
Well,
Tells us, like,
I'll ask you them both. Where do you see yourself? It's a double barrel question, and it's to you both. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and where do you see yourself in 25 years?
do you know what? I try not to think about stuff like that too much.
Yeah, because
Like,
I'd get very unsettled in now.
Where
think too much in
am
the
I,
future.
like, where am I going to, like, in 5 years, for me, being one of the biggest, or the biggest bed company in America, America being very, very, very successful. In 25 years, what will I be? 55.
5.
It's too far away for me to think about and even worry about. Do you know what I mean? Especially, I mean, I think since like Robert died, my whole perspective and everything on life has just changed.
Yeah.
Like thinking about 25 years ahead now doesn't really interest me.
No.
Like,
I find that really
I
interesting.
want to be yes, I want to be successful in 25 years, but anything could happen between now and then. But in 5 years, which is only a short time, 5 years goes like that.
Yeah, it does.
America to be a huge success, and probably by that point, hopefully, would have took on another 2 countries that we've got our eye on. But let's see. We can't say it's going to happen. That's why I won't.
Australia
start
being one of those two.
throwing country names out. I'll try.
Yeah, so what would go back to the day when there was the giving up Phil? Remember, you said there was times you thought you'd had enough?
Yeah.
What would today's Phil say to that Phil? Don't give up.
Today's Phil say to that Phil, as in, what would today's Phil say to that Phil after not giving up? Or if that Phil was stood in front of me and was wanting to give up?
Yeah, that one, the second one.
Same thing as what my dad said to me, to be honest.
What's that?
You can either give up or you can keep going.
Yeah. I suppose
Which
pretty
one do you want to
practical.
do? Do you want to give up, pack it all in, or just keep going? Yeah, you might be having money issues, but money comes and goes. Money will always come and go
Yeah, of course.
in life.
Yeah.
So my dad was just, well, yeah, pack it in.
Sometimes the older generation do, you know, they can just tell you it double barrel.
And I feel like I like
Yeah, you receive it
our
quite well,
older
I think.
generation, because in years to come, older generation won't be like the older generation we've got,
No.
where they're really bold, blunt, say how it is, and will give you the best advice. But yeah, my dad was just like, well, yeah, give up or you can keep going.
I like
What do you
that.
want to do?
I get that sometimes from like my mum and my dad, you know. Sometimes I'll get myself in a right tizzy, you know what I mean? I get all
Yeah,
stressed
work
out. And
yourself up.
yeah,
What
like-
I would say to that Phil back then, if that Phil was in front of me now and was wanting to give up, I would say if you really want it that bad, you will carry on and go get it. And that's what I've always lived by. If you want something so bad, you go get it. You will make it happen. Amazon wasn't just there. And there wasn't a million people thinking about this Amazon idea. Jeff Bezos had this idea, or Bezos, whatever you want to call him, and he went out and got it. It probably took him a lot of years to conquer it. So if you really want something, whatever it may be, just go out and get it. Do everything in your will. Things will just fall into place, and you'll do things out your comfort zone to make it happen because you want it to happen. Do you know what I mean?
That's inspirational. I like that. If you want,
If you want it so bad, and it's not unrealistic. It's
No.
there. Like, yes, it might be. I want to do that, or I want to get this far in life, or I want to be this successful in business. But like, it's going to take a lot of years, or I've got to do this, or I haven't got loads of money in the bank. Doesn't matter, because the journey, like we were saying before, is the best part about it.
Yeah.
So just make sure that journey just continues. Don't get to a point where it's like, right, I'm done. Keep going and pushing for more.
Yeah.
But always keep your head screwed on as well. Probably
Yeah,
lost
of
me a few
course.
times.
Keep screwed on level-headed and just keep pushing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, if you really want something so bad, enjoy the journey. Because everyone wants everything tomorrow or yesterday.
Take time to enjoy the journey as well.
The
'Cause
journey will be
sometimes journey
stressful,
can pass you
but
by.
you'll look back on certain bits.
I like that. That's true. And it's something I
Yeah.
will admit I'm guilty of going through the journey, knowing full well that that's, as we've just said, the journey is the best bit.
I probably didn't enjoy the journey as much as I should have. There will have been times where I was like, I love this.
I don't think anyone does, Phil. I don't think anyone does.
I think we look back and say, that journey was mint. I love that journey. Although it was stressful. Because you look back and you think, I got out of that, I got past that.
Yeah.
So you look back and appreciate the journey.
It's impossible to go through life in a complete
'cause
state
when you're-
of hindsight all the time.
Course.
You know what I mean?
Of
For a really hard time, you're not like, oh my God, this is brilliant. Yeah, it's part of the
Yeah.
journey.
It's
'Cause
true.
You don't know where you go next.
No. I think that'll be the case for everybody. I think everybody, but we can all. I guess us saying it to each other is probably, and to other people, it's a good way to check people. Like you saying that there, remember the journey. Now, literally, as you said it, like selfishly, I've just thought of, like my own life. Do you know what I mean?
Looking back on your journey.
Yeah, and I'm thinking,
It's nice
yeah,
to look
yeah,
back on.
Yeah, you're right.
inspires
then.
you.
Should be enjoying these moments. 'Cause
Yeah.
these are the
You
best.
do forget. It's easy to forget.
You do forget. And I think it's important to keep saying that message.
Of course.
Yeah, I think it gets forgotten about. But it is. One thing's for sure, we'll all realise that one day. One thing's for sure. We will all
Definitely.
realise that.
One thing for sure, one day it'll all just be a distant memory.
It will be.
But some people who mean a lot to us will remember us for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, I like that.
So, like for me, when my logo is somewhere in huge bright lights in America,
Times
or
Square.
somewhere like that, my kids or my grandkids can go, my dad did that, or my granddad did that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I might not even own the luxury bed company by then. It might be, I might have a different brand name. You never know what happens in life. Anything can happen.
No?
But my dad started that in Gumtree. Do you know stuff like that?
Imagine that. Imagine if it does get to where your dream is. Like where this, your vision of where it could be one day. Imagine that.
Yeah.
If you're then not on
It'd be
a
mental, won't it?
not
Me
on a
and
ship.
Callum with our Zimmer frames in Times Square.
Yeah. Literally telling people, well, do you remember Gumtree? Like literally, that's where it started.
Gumtree's good, you know. I don't know if it's the same as what it was back in the day, but Gumtree was good.
Yeah.
I fucking love Gumtree. I was just borrowing vans where I could borrow vans.
Listen,
I was selling beds without any transport.
no
And I was
transport.
delivering them myself. I was taking the calls myself. I was doing everything myself.
Just juggling.
That's that, yeah. But it wasn't like mega busy. I was maybe doing a few beds a day, a dozen beds a week, whatever. But as long as I knew what my profit margin was, and
Yeah.
I was borrowing vans off people.
I love that. Borrowing
I
a
know,
van.
yeah.
Sold a van. Sold a bed. Shit, I can't get it to where it's going. Shit, bring it around. Got a van, mate. Yeah, I can imagine.
It's good.
Not dealing with shitty Enterprise. With their, big up Enterprise are all right. But the average shooter to hire off. I get that.
All right.
So-
I really don't.
I don't think they're all big either.
They're not my biggest fan either.
No.
Nope.
So we're going to round it up.
Yeah.
Right? We normally do a sign out. So I'll tell people, how do people buy beds off you? How do people follow you? What's the crack?
So, if you want to follow us, we have a very fun social media. We do a lot of fun stuff on there. We're just normal, outgoing people. We love having a laugh. So, we like to make our content as fun as possible rather than it just being boring. Bedroom reels, which we post a lot of as well because we need to. But our Instagram is at The Luxury Bed Company. Same for TikTok, Facebook, and any other social media platforms. Our website is, of course, www. Does anyone even say that anymore?
I don't think they do, you know.
TheLuxuryBedCompany.com or .us.
Or .us now.
You can go on there, purchase if you want to make any bespoke changes to a design that you like. Either jump on the contact us page on the website, or you can just message us on Instagram.
Let's
or
pick
any
up
of
the phone
us-
and give us a ring.
Or pick up the phone and give us a ring. And yeah, we've always got discounts floating about. We've got brand ambassadors who've got discount codes that are active all year round. Yeah, there's just so much to it, but also so simple.
Yeah, so simple. Well, listen, I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people because, like you've said, it's sometimes not. You sometimes don't see what other people are seeing. You know, as we said at the beginning, you're inspiring a lot of people. You are. You're inspiring me. You know, I can vouch for that. And I know there'll be a lot of other people who are looking up to you and admiring what you're doing. You know, and obviously Cameron as well. Obviously grateful for what you're doing. You know, you're doing a lot of good things, lads.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's working.
Appreciate it.
Whatever you're trying to do, it is working. Not just
Trying
in
our
business.
best.
Yeah, you spread a good message as well. You used to have a vibe which is it's unique and refreshing. When I first watched that podcast with you on Simply Rogue, just hearing like who yous were and your personalities, it's rare that It's rare.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Lads,
we do.
It's
Don't
nice.
we?
Do you know
We
what?
do
It's nice to
appreciate
be told
feedback
sometimes.
like that.
It's nice to be.
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
And we do get a lot of compliments now and again, but it is nice to be told or nice to be reminded.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kind words.
Thank you
Lads,
for having. I've really enjoyed this actually.
I've enjoyed this. I can see you
Yeah.
for the next 4 hours, no problem. But
Yeah.
wrap up when you need
No,
to.
listen, I've held a wee in for 2.5 hours. You know, I'm twitching here, like, do you know what I mean? Listen, Phil Stevenson, Callum Bickle,
Yeah.
the Luxury Bed Company. Thank you for speaking with people like us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah,
Been an
I
absolute
genuinely
pleasure.
loved
Well,
it.
finally.
Finally, yeah.
Took us a few times.
wish you all the best for the future, and
Thank
we'll be
you.
keeping an eye on, and all the best of luck in America.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you
Thank
very
you.
much.
See you next time.
See you next time.